Yar, we're taking over this podcast. Avast all you land lovers.
Don.
We're taking over your regularly scheduled podcast. Huh?
What are you doing? What is this?
What's the matter?
We haven't even done the intro yet.
Yar, that's because I've got a question to ask you first, Isla, before we do the intro, Isla.
Okay.
An important question for the whole panel, in fact, and for all of you out there as well.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, have you been tasting the Kraken? Have any out there been tasting the Kraken? Because I've been tasting the Kraken. And let me tell you something. It's a sweet flesh indeed. Oh, yes, I think the world's ready to admit that Kraken is a sweet flesh. And so now, for all of you out there, I have something you're going to need to do. A promise you'll have to fulfill. You're all gonna have to eat a little crow now. That's right, you're gonna have to eat some crow for not believing in our beloved Skull and Bones. All of you will eat some crow, including Isla there can eat some crow.
I played it.
Uber will be eating some
though?
crow. Michael down there.
I've been defending Skull and Bones more than
Janet,
you
I
lately,
must
Don.
ask our-
You eat
I
the
must
crow.
ask our
The intro
guest.
for the podcast.
You
I've
eat
got
the
a question
crow.
for our guest first.
Janet Garcia, hi.
Surely, Janet, you didn't disparage our beloved Skull and Bones during the long and lengthy and prolonged development cycle which took place. Surely you kept your faith, I believe.
Yeah, if there's one thing people know about me, it's keeping the faith in a game with a record number of delays. I never wavered. We'll look for it. You can't find it because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Good, wonderful, Janet. Janet will be spared from eating crow, but the rest of the panel will be eating crow. Let's talk about what makes this game so great. Let's get serious in here for a second.
Skull and Bones,
Yeah,
okay.
Skull and Bones. We're
This
talking
is-
about.
This was supposed to be like fifth in the rundown, but we're doing it right now, I guess.
They didn't rebrand it to SMB. That's about the only thing they haven't done right. But they've done a lot right, haven't they? It's above average, at least. I would say it's far above average.
It's like a solid 6.5.
Sitting comfortably above average.
Yeah. Mid sixes or sevens. I was just playing it actually. I didn't hate it. Slow start.
Glowing endorsement.
I mean,
Great endorsement.
from me, it's a pretty good endorsement.
Yeah.
It's
It could be
jolly.
worse.
It's
Yeah.
jolly fun, isn't it? It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I like easy, jolly fun more than you expected. I bet.
More than I expect. It's arcadey
Yes.
and interesting, and I did like how, because in the intro you start with a full ship with all the guns around it, right? And I don't know, have you played it yet at all? Okay, yeah. So you start in this intro and you have a full ship with guns everywhere. And what I thought was kind of cool is because you can aim 360, and you're aiming down sights, kind of.
Can you friendly fire your own ship?
I haven't been in a situation with other friendly ships yet, but probably. But what's cool is where the reticle is like which cannon you're firing from. So like you could see your crew like firing that cannon because you're like in that area. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And the shanties are good.
Love the shanties.
The world is quite good, I would say. I think the world, they hit it on the head. And so it's enjoyable just to be there, right? Even though it's not the fully open world pirate thing that everyone wanted it to be, it's still an enjoyable world to get lost in, Isla. And here's the thing that surprised me. One of the aspects of it that I didn't think I would like.
Just put the headphones on.
Let's go ruin my hat.
Oh, true. Fair enough.
Oh, wait, maybe I can move them to the back. One of the things I like about it
That's a way to start talking.
is the customization of the ships.
Yeah, yes.
This is the thing that I thought was going to be very uninteresting, but the fact that you can...
that was all I was interested in.
I wasn't interested in the customizations of the ship and the weapon customizations and the multiple levels and all that, but it's actually quite enjoyable. There's a huge satisfaction to the progression.
In typical Ubisoft fashion, can I dress as Ezio?
Can you... What?
I didn't see it.
Every single Ubisoft game gives you an Ezio skin.
I didn't
Is it here?
see one.
Every single one.
More than just every Ubisoft game. They give it to you in other games that aren't Ubisoft, like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
But every single Ubisoft under the sun was involved in this too. The opening credits are just different places of the world with Ubisoft in front of it. Don's disappeared.
He's gone.
He's not answering Huber's questions.
Sunk.
I guess his pirate radio signal that he hacked into the podcast
I'm
with.
sorry, my beard got stuck in my mouth, and it was a terrible thing to try to get control of. So look, it's a good game. It's above average. It's quite fun. I think we all,
Wait, is it good or above average?
we all accept this now. Well, who knows how high this thing will go, Damiani? After all, we're just a few hours in.
Okay,
We're only a few hours in, Damiani. We don't know how much love this will be garnished upon this hopefully franchise, I would say, at some point.
Wow.
Franchise.
This game was delayed for 400
And,
years and you want a franchise?
They're
all
hoping this one game lasts
It's not even
for
out
5
yet.
years.
Something for the
So,
next generation to look
Don,
forward
you're
to.
slapping the franchise tag on
Yeah.
this.
And not only that, I would like to call out
got
hats
sea
off.
legs.
Hats off to Ubisoft, who is officially on a
You're
streak.
camera 6.
They're officially on a streak.
What?
No one can deny it now. Ubisoft is on a streak.
A streak of
It
sixes?
began
No way,
with
Prince of Persia.
Avatar.
Prince of Persia was 6.
It
All right.
was bolstered by Prince of Persia, and now SMB carries on the streak. So hats off to Ubisoft. They're on a hot streak. As
back.
Michael Huber- They're back big time.
I don't know. I kind of view it a little bit like a Mountain.
Yeah.
You had Avatar, then it went up with Prince of Persia.
Mirage.
It's
Yeah.
Kind of,
Hey, Mirage
going off
before
with
Avatar,
Skull
too.
and
I
Bones,
love
but
Mirage.
The hot
their own.
streak continues, Michael Huber. So let's take this moment, everyone, and reflect upon the overly harsh reaction we all had for a long time to SMB when all these developers were doing after all this entire time was trying to get it right. Weren't they trying to get it right? And maybe it's not the ultimate open world pirate adventure that we all wanted it to be, but it is what it is. And guess what? What it is more fun than I expected.
I
suggest-
I'll give you
Don.
that. You know, and
Don, I'm watching a stream right now.
Let me tell you something about the
There's
streams,
so
Michael
much going
Damiani.
on screen. How do you even know what's going on? This looks
Let me
so
tell you something,
convoluted.
Damiani. That's what made me jump off the bandwagon was watching these damn streams.
it's not a good game to look
It's
at.
not a
off the
good game to
bandwagon
watch
now?
because I was watching
Oh.
a stream, Michael Damiani, where during the closed beta or whatever it was, they wouldn't let me into, and I was bored to tears. Not only that, but I said this isn't for me, and I jumped off the bandwagon, as you remembered about a month ago. But guess what?
Eat crow.
I'm
you
not
yourself
eating any
didn't
crow to
believe-
Michael Huber
Yeah.
because I'm back on the bandwagon, and now I'm driving.
But
the
you
thing.
were the biggest
I'm
naysayer.
driving the thing now.
You're driving
Also,
it?
isn't a bandwagon inherently
driving
implying
it.
that you weren't there from the beginning and
I
you're only
was
there when
there.
it's hot?
I don't
Yeah.
There's no
know.
loyal
There's
bandwagon.
Also, it's
a
on
lot
land.
of details involved in the bandwagon. Janet, you bring up a good point. But I was there. I was there from the start.
Yeah.
And I'm still there. And now
Putting
a
out
lot
good thoughts,
more
you know,
are
just-
getting on
Yeah.
board,
It
okay? So let's celebrate.
Definitely looks like a
SMB.
Ubisoft game, Don.
It for sure looks like a
I'm-
Ubisoft
I like
game.
It
Everyone
looks like the
celebrate.
UI looks like typical Ubisoft UI. It's not even like pirate themed.
Well, look, the UI is not pirate themed. I'll give you that.
It's a
but
little pirate theme.
what's so wrong?
Like a little bit, but
little.
like it looks like it could be on like Assassin's
no,
Creed.
yeah, yeah.
Fine.
What don't you like the font? Damiani, is that what's rubbing you the wrong way? The font is not.
I mean, the
ornate
Same.
cooldown
and-
icons, and I don't know if those are like debuffs or buffs under like the. I don't know. There's a lot going on under like the ship health bars and stuff. I can't really
feels
follow
okay
it.
to
You can
play,
make the
though,
HUD,
Damiani.
You can make the HUD disappear with the press of a button. What if I
That's
told you you can make the HUD disappear with the press of a button, Damiani?
But do you enjoy playing without the
I
HUD
haven't
on?
tried it.
Is it playable
Too
that way?
much to keep track of. I can't make that thing disappear.
You do need those
There's a
waypoints,
lot
though.
of numbers you got to be watching. It's going to be sunk.
Okay.
Anywho, let's all celebrate this great day. And
Cheers to
Pirate
Skull and Bones.
Pirate Don, I can't wait to join your crew. I'll be in there.
Yes, we'll be having some fun. You'll be welcomed aboard, Michael Damiani.
What did
And
you
we'll
name
be-
your ship, Don?
The Donny Yaga. So if you see the Donny Yaga sailing the sea.
I named mine the boat.
The boat.
Yes.
I'm gonna name mine the real Don Yaga.
Pirate Don, anything
I
else you
like
want to say
that.
about Skull and Bones? I thought the character creation was interesting. I took it off performance mode for about 2 seconds, and it was so abysmal I put it right back on it.
Let me tell you something about that.
Definitely
I
doesn't
love-
look
It's an
perfect.
important thing to bring up, actually, because I began in what is the other mode called anyway?
Quality?
Yeah, I started in quality because that's how I like to play,
Yeah.
right? It was a lot of framey stuff happening. So
was
I said,
framey.
I'm going to jump to performance, but I had to switch back to quality because let me tell you something. This is important to know. On PC, this sucker looks good. It looks real good. But on PS5, I'm sure they got some kinks they got to work out. It was a little buggy, and the performance
looks,
it was quite buggy. And
Pretty aliased.
yeah, so it was quite a difference, actually. They nailed the PC version at this point, which is admirable because so many other games are missing in that front. So, you know, if you're able to pick it up on PC, maybe do that at first. But I'm sure they'll work out the kinks on PS5.
All right.
I'm done.
You're done?
I think so.
You got me hyped on.
Yeah.
Good.
Hi, everyone. I am Isla Hank. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week, I am joined by Janet Garcia,
Hello.
Michael Huber,
Yo.
and Michael Damiani. Making it all happen. In the control room, we've got Don Casanova. Are you... There he is.
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
Don, where
Don.
are you?
Yeah, I just got here, so I'm a little late.
Yeah, that's okay. In the back there, making sure we're on our stuff is Gabby.
There was a weird man in here earlier. Who was that?
There's a weird man. Are we allowed to talk about
It
the weird
smells like
man?
Kraken in here. I don't know who is.
Not up to me if we're talking about that man or not. But friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. We're talking Xbox. We're talking Banishers. Apparently, we already talked about Skull and Bones. We're getting insight, and we're diving into hell again. But before we do that, we have to answer the wrong question. We need like wrong question music. All right. What's the best way to start a podcast? With know-how. What did the Easy Allies get right on last week's podcast?
Ooh,
This is from Andy Schreier.
what did we get right?
Blood got rid of corrections is the background for this.
Yeah, that's a
we,
nice way to circumvent
We
it.
all liked corrections.
We love corrections.
Because we like people yelling at us and telling us what we've done wrong.
Yeah.
But now they're giving us the opportunity to say what we did right last week.
Yeah.
An inversion. I have a backup if we suck at answering this. Did we do anything right last week?
We praised infinite wealth.
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
yes. That was correct. This is the correct
Yeah.
move.
I made fun of console warriors. That was probably
Yep.
a stupid idea. But
Plastic boxes.
Yep.
Yep.
Just plastic boxes. Noisy plastic boxes. They're all the same, gang. They don't make a difference. Damiani, did we do, in your estimation?
I can't remember last week, and I don't want to say anything more than that.
Yeah, I don't remember this morning. I do have a backup one from Shifty Chicken. Unless, Don, did you have one that we did right last week?
I think we did most everything right last week from what I
Perfect
recall.
podcast,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Perfect
One of the
podcast.
best.
Oh, it's perfect.
10 out of
All right.
10.
one of the best.
No notes.
Yep.
Shifty Chicken also had a good one that I liked. Bloodworth is at Dice, shaking hands and rubbing elbows. What sort of Faustian bargains is he making to make sure those codes keep coming? These are like goofy answers.
Sure.
So is Blood like, you know?
Well, he obviously brought, a working version of the Switch 2 prototype
Yeah.
to show off
Yeah.
to people since he's Nintendo's CEO. So,
Yeah.
he's dangling that in front of a lot of those people there to get, as the icebreaker. And that's a pretty good icebreaker,
That's pretty
the
good.
Switch 2 prototype.
He's
That
also
is-
staking people at the craps table. He's just buying people in.
Dude,
Oh, wow,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, he's just anyone who wants
He
to play.
absolutely
He's
is.
just buying them in.
That
Buying them
doesn't
in.
seem like an effective allocation of Easy Allies funds,
Yeah,
but sure.
that's how you get the codes. You know,
That's- you gotta
grease
get those
palms.
codes, yeah. All right, anyway, thank you. Unless someone else has a funny thing they want to say. All right, topic number 1. Hi, Janet.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself.
Oh, I was not expecting this to be an official topic.
It is headline number 1, and it says "Get to know Janet."
Sure. I'll do the classic spiel, and then we can do actual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jan Garcia. I'm a video game critic, host, and video game consultant. I also stream. You may know me from podcasts such as The Min-Max Show. I'm also rolling with the Indie Council, where we cover indie games. I've appeared in a couple episodes of Remap Radio as well, and I have a website called Pen to Pixels. It's Pen to Pixels, where I write video game reviews and some listicles. Hopefully, more features as I actually sit down to write, which is tough because the writing is the worst part of writing. But yeah, and I'm here because y'all are out here in LA, and I'm out here in LA.
Heck
y'all
yeah.
said to come through, and I pulled up. There we are.
Don, take me off the preview. I can't help but stare at myself. Thanks. We're happy that you're here.
Yeah, Janet, hype.
Well, you hit everything I wrote down.
Yeah, we also took Michael for min-max stuff, so it's like I
Yeah.
think this is like an exchange,
A bargain.
This is like
Cultural exchange
This is a cultural
program,
exchange.
yeah.
Yeah. It said we sent you y'all sent us a Trivia Tower host, and then in
Yeah.
return, I appeared.
Yeah.
So
And I grew up in Minnesota and then lived in Chicago, so I'm a Midwest kid.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You just know.
that's
You just
cool.
feel it.
That's
Yeah.
one way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we sensed it.
We sensed it. We
Yeah.
could tell. I miss Chicago.
Me too. Have you been back much since?
I was back 2 years ago, maybe a year
Okay,
ago.
that's not bad. I haven't been back.
Post-COVID. It must have been post-COVID.
I haven't been back in forever because my family also ended up moving out here. So then it's not as much
No
reason
reason.
to need to go.
Yeah.
Or to,
yeah.
I'm hoping to visit in I think early fall because you got to find that sweet
Yeah.
spot where it's not too hot, not too cold.
There's
and there's
one
only
month-
two.
Yeah.
Yes,
On either side of summer, there's 1 month where Chicago is tolerable.
exactly.
The rest of
like
it is a nightmare.
August, September.
Yeah, we're going to
August
September.
is still too
Yes,
hot.
too hot.
You have to go after August, or you have to go in May.
That's literally.
Yeah.
Literally, I was
Go to
talking.
Chicago in May.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was talking to my boyfriend about us going, and he also he runs warm, so I'm like, okay, well, we can't go when it's hot. It's
No.
you're gonna burn.
Yeah, because
we
the
can't go
middle
when it's
of
too
the
cold,
summer
'cause-
is an absolute nightmare. And
yeah.
it's humid. Ugh.
The heat there, it's unbearable.
Hey, good sweat
'Cause
box.
it's humid. It's
Yeah.
The
it's so
humidity
hot.
is brutal.
The Midwest,
So
you get
hot.
literally the worst kind of every weather.
Wow.
It's marvelous.
It's all just
awful.
extremes.
Yeah,
But
didn't know
those couple good days,
Yeah.
you live in those.
you
days.
live in it. And
You really
the
appreciate
upside
them.
is
That's
everyone
good.
gets so used to being cold that when it's 50 degrees, people will be
Yeah,
out in
yeah.
their bikinis, sunbathing in the quad or whatever, and it's 50 degrees.
Yeah.
It's we're all insane.
But I'm excited to go back. It should be fun to. Well, it's been so long that I'm I hope these places still exist. But
Yeah.
checking out the old stomping grounds, doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
I was
own
happy-
historical tour.
I was happy to see that a friend of mine posted something from the Pick Me Up Cafe, which was my favorite cafe.
Nice.
And it's still there?
Nice.
Oh, what neighborhood is that?
It's Wrigleyville, edge of Wrigleyville.
Yeah, I'd love to go to a Cubs game while I'm there, but I don't.
Wrigleyville is weird. It looks totally different now.
Weird.
Last time I was there, I was in a coffee shop for an hour
Whoa.
before I realized that I had lived down the street from that coffee shop for a year and a half. That's how different the neighborhood looked.
That is
That's weird, yeah.
That's
Because we
trip.
walked there from somewhere
Yeah.
else that I didn't usually do, and then I was like, wait, we're right by the Damon stop? I used to live here. It was really weird.
I lived in SF for a while, and I went back
Coldest place
a
on
couple years ago, and all my spots were closed. It was
Gone.
sad. Yeah. It's a bummer.
Yeah, my favorite Thai place was a Forever Yogurt now.
Damn.
And I was like,
Did you go
Forever
in and try
Yogurt?
the
What the
yogurt?
fuck is that? I did. I tried the
How
yogurt.
Was it good yogurt?
I just wandered around screaming, Forever Yogurt!
Nice.
Forever yogurt.
I too do that whenever I have an opportunity to insert a song.
Yeah, the yogurt was mid.
That's rough.
Yeah.
What kind did you get? Do you remember?
The only dairy-free one. I don't remember what it was. It was probably some kind of vile fruit thing. All right.
Anything else you want to know?
Wildly off topic.
Love it.
What have you been playing lately? I don't know. Fuck. That
Let's see.
that you're allowed to talk about.
Yeah. Not that I'm not playing anything I'm not allowed to
No,
talk about,
none
'cause
of it. Nobody is.
I wouldn't say that I wasn't. That's how it goes.
I wouldn't say that either.
I feel like it's one of those you spent 30 minutes with 8 different games. I think the most I've put into is probably Suicide Squad in a way, and Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a good chunk of way through Suicide Squad, just kind of being you know what? What if we just saw it through?
Yeah.
Doesn't cost me that I already have it downloaded.
Short enough.
Exactly.
You can
Short
undownload
enough.
it. You can delete it.
You can, but the satisfaction, there's only the beat and delete. where
Yeah.
it's just like, like that
Boom.
immediate.
It's the best feeling ever.
It's so good.
God, I love
the
that
beat and
feeling.
delete is good, but let me preach to you from the good book of just streamed
The
it
name
for
is
an hour and a
gross, yeah.
half and deleted it immediately
Oh,
on
yes.
stream.
That's all. Oh, the on
The
stream.
power
delete.
play,
On-stream delete
the power play to
is a
just
flex.
silently go down and delete it while you're
Oh,
still
yeah.
live.
I feel like there's like Suicide Squad is one of those games though where like you get so far into it, you're like 5 hours in, and then you realize, okay, it's not that great.
I'm almost
but
done.
I'm almost done.
Exactly.
I might as well.
Cost fallacy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But also too, it's like I can see more of like what it has to offer because it's like it's a solid game, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I'm playing in co-op, so it's like let's see what else is out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's people say like the best stuff is towards the end. Now is it because they're already almost done? I don't know.
Stockholm syndrome.
But that's what the streets are saying, and when the streets talk, I listen. So I'm like,
Yeah.
might as well check it out. I dipped into Little Guardsman, which was super fun, like a kind of cartoony Papers, Please. It's like you're a little kid who's like
Papers,
I
Please.
saw. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
saw
like
a
a-
trailer for that.
the guard of like the castle, and it's so funny.
That sounds so fun.
That looks cool.
It's great. Like the humor is dark and funky.
Sick.
Dipped into some like Celeste fragments of the Mountain 64.
Oh, that's
whatever
the one
is.
that they just put out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I wanted to check that one.
That's a
out.
trip. Did you play that, Damiani? The Celeste
Which one?
64 thing?
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like what 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a nice like on Itch.io.
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's been cool. Lethal Company and like Persona 5 were
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, like 8 other
Lethal
things.
Company. We are all gaga for Lethal
Okay,
Company.
nice.
And Helldivers too.
Have y'all all played together?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a few streams.
Shenanigans.
What are
always
your
need
all's
more
like
streams.
roles? Do you feel like who are you on
In
that,
Lethal
that
Company?
company? Yeah.
Chaos.
I'm the only one who actually understands the game. So
Okay, there's
I'm
always
like,
one.
yeah, I'm like, okay, there are 13 items. Try to stick together. They're gone. Okay.
The clock freaks me out, so I'm always just speed running.
run.
I'm just gone.
And then we
I
don't
gotta
know
go. I
if
gotta
he's dead or
go.
alive, you know? Yeah. It would be an interesting experience to play with people who know what's going on.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
not
yeah,
us.
yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like the next stream
The
of
next
it
one.
will be
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
level.
Nice.
Don's always the loose cannon, wild card in everything.
I was gonna say I'm support.
Yeah. That's a type
I
of
keep the
support.
team together.
It keeps up our psychological elasticity, you know? We never know what to expect. Let's talk Xbox.
Xbox.
So, we got the real Xbox news. There was a lot of speculation over the last week or two. Hubbub, a lot of buzz about exclusives, because they were kind of just like, hey, some stuff's not going to be exclusive anymore. And everyone was like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Halo on
Everyone
PlayStation.
started freaking out naturally. The internet just started eating itself, as per the usual. We got the skinny on that. We are going to talk about Blizzard on Game Pass, and they hinted at a new console. So they said on their podcast, today we announced that we will expand the communities as we reach. What? The communities we reach. We are currently in the process of bringing our Xbox games to other platforms. These are titles which have been available to Xbox players for at least a year, including hidden gems that deserve to be experienced more widely. People are thinking that probably means Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment. And live service games whose communities will benefit from welcoming even more players. We'll share more details on these titles soon. They won't confirm who they are, but they did say that it's not Indiana Jones or Starfield. He says, Phil Spencer said that he's not saying what they are because the teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, games teams put a lot of energy into their announcements and partners, so we don't want to take anything away from those teams. So we won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense. They claim it will not have a fundamental change to their approach on exclusivity. And to be clear, because we were speculating last week, perhaps Game Pass will be coming to like Steam and PlayStation and Switch and everything. They were clear and they said Games Pass will not come to anything else. It'll continue to only be available on Xbox platforms. Grub is saying that Nintendo delayed their alleged direct that was supposed to happen somewhere mid-February because of this information, and they were awaiting this announcement. So he's claiming they swerved to get out of the way of that. And then The Verge's Tom Warren. Sorry, I'm dumping all the information out now. Then we'll talk about the exclusivity stuff. Verge's Tom Warren talked about Sources familiar with Microsoft plans tell me that the first 2 titles will be Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment, followed by Sea of Thieves and Grounded. All of that makes total sense to me. Yeah. Thoughts?
A lot to unpack. I think it's a good thing for like for people who don't believe in console wars, you know.
Yeah.
It's like if you can only afford one console and you happen to have a PlayStation, you know, now you can get a chance to play Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment. These are awesome games. I also think if you're an Xbox fan, it's not a slap in the face or like doom and gloom because you've had access to those games for so long. Like,
right, but if I paid for college, everyone else should pay for college.
Yeah, because I think like early access to a game is so valuable. It's like I feel like it's what people care about so much. You see people pay like
$100 for 3 days.
$100 for 3 days access. So if your console of choice has a game for like a whole year, I think that's a fair compromise on both sides.
Yeah.
And it's helping, like, these games are a little, like Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush are a little smaller, so it's helping those games out. So yeah.
To me, that I think is the important thing, where it's like they're bringing games that could use bigger audiences, either smaller hidden gems that like didn't get maybe as much attention as they should have, like Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Or games as a service that'll only be better with more people.
That was a great spin. Oh, more people for games as a service. Like,
but I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
I would love like some give and take. Like I would love to see Returnal on Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Because that is such a sick game. Would be like I want more people to play Returnal.
You want PlayStation to reach across the aisle now.
Reach across, like, you know, shake hands, hug it out.
Damiani, what do you think? What?
No, it's just a joke.
Oh, I want to hear the joke.
Oh, I just said kiss a little bit.
Oh yeah,
yeah, a little.
I mean,
rub their noses together, you know.
I would love that. I would love that. Damiani looked like you had something to say.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, maybe they're planning more down the road, but this just feels like a bit of an extension of what they kind of already were doing. Kind of like what they were doing with Ori, what they did with Cuphead. Those games came to Switch. And obviously, they've had Minecraft on, they acquired it, but like it was on everything. They continue to keep it on everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seems like they're going to have select titles that will go multi-platform, and live service games will they just need to be on every platform as possible, especially like how cutthroat it is. Like live service, you can't like kneecap yourself on any of those. So from surface level, it seems like pretty standard fare. I guess it's like what happens in the long term. Is this like them starting to dip their toes further and further into the water of like, we'll see more and more first-party Xbox games coming to other platforms after we see how these go, and then maybe we'll start seeing some of the biggest ones, because Phil Spencer did say that's not completely off the table. Like, it's not a hard no on like Indiana Jones. He said, we'll never say never in this industry. Like, it shouldn't be, we shouldn't say no to something appearing on the platform. So it just sounds like typical, their PR speak. And also they're just trying to do a little bit of the control of the message after all this stuff kind of broke in the last 2 weeks about, ahead of them ready to really talk about it. So I think even in the podcast, they're like, this was the order we would have talked about stuff, but let's talk about this first. So it's like they clearly needed to address this.
Do you think this is all that was? Like, do you think this was their plan anyway, but they brought it out and talked about it in this way just as like damage control, or like to spin the message? Yeah, kind of.
I mean, that I'm not entirely sure. They did say that like, oh, this would have gone down. It would have been in this podcast regardless. So, but I mean, you could say that at any point. But yeah, like, that would be interesting if there is like no bigger plan than this, and this was always how it was going to be. And because people caught wind of it earlier, and it was true, like there are games, their first party games are coming to more first party games are coming to other platforms, but that kind of like panic mode that people were like jumping to conclusions about. Like, there were people out there saying this is like going to be the biggest news in 20 years in our industry. And it's like, with Microsoft, you're Microsoft internal people, you're like freaking the hell out when like outlets are throwing that around. It's like, wait a second, this isn't that big of a deal. Like, you're misunderstanding. So maybe it is a little bit of that. They wanted to reel it in a little bit before it got out of hand. But also, this could be part of that plan. It's like change overnight sometimes is very difficult, hard, impossible to do, and sometimes not the best thing. In this case, I think a slower, gradual change is probably what they're shooting for, if that is their long-term game with this. I could be wrong, obviously, but that just seems like the smoothest path forward if you're going, rather than like ripping off that Band-Aid, because you know how people react to like really bad news in the gaming industry. Like fans don't generally like behave themselves very nicely. Yeah.
Well, and they said some stuff a little later about the next console that to me definitely reads as like kind of more, maybe if not damage control, definitely just like, hey, we're still in it. We're not, you know. Janet, you have any thoughts on this exclusivity thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just them, again, reaffirming, you know, what their vision is. And I think that having the exclusives go to other places, like I love that y'all bring up like Ori and those titles, because it's like, yeah, this has totally happened before and it like wasn't that big of a deal. And I think in another universe where this doesn't get leaked out, this is still a news story, and it creates a conversation of, oh, do we think more Xbox exclusives will go like a third party? But it doesn't become this big mess of like Starfield's going to be on your iPhone, you know, that it kind of turned into. So
the story we would have been saying like Hi-Fi Rush is going to come into more stuff. That's sick. Yeah, like that's what we would have been saying.
Yeah, and like maybe there would have been a little bit of that wider conversation, but I think that conversation was largely driven by the rumors of like, could this be the end of Xbox? Like, are they going to totally like leave the console market? Well, what does that do for everything? And it just became this really huge thing. Well, I think it's not unconventional to have, you know, a kind of businessy podcast or a stream where, you know, we see all the time outlets that are really like going through the internet looking for things to service to their audience might be like, oh, like here's the news story. Oh, it turns out in this podcast they talked, like we have stories like that all the time. And I think this just would have been another one of those if it didn't get like leaked ahead. And now the story is like, okay, now we have like the reality.
Right.
Which it's funny seeing people still speculate off that, where it's like, what could he say when he says most of our games that are first party that we care most about will still be exclusive?
Which do they care about?
What does he mean? Like,
do they not care about Starfield?
Yeah, like it's so I don't know. I think people you're gonna think what you are gonna think about where Microsoft might be heading, and obviously there's things that can back that. But at the end of the day, it's like I feel like taking this at face value, where it's like the heavy hitter titles they have in their first party are going to be exclusive. If I see like a Starfield or something go third party, or maybe even to a degree Indiana Jones, like that's when I'd be more like, oh, maybe they really are moving in this direction.
Yeah.
But until then, I don't think Hi-Fi Rush or any of those titles going third party is evidence of a big shift within Xbox.
And it would have to be like, for me to start thinking they're making that shift, it would have to be like day and date. Like a year later is just like,
just
let's
business.
get more sales on it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny too, because you compared it to Sony and like, you know, because they've been bringing things to PC like a year later or whatever. Microsoft does put things out day and date on PC and console, you know? So it's like they're already kind of like a divergence from Sony's model.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Do we think this further helps Nintendo? Because if Sony...
What do you mean?
Well, if Sony and Microsoft have all of their games on multiple platforms, but Nintendo Switch still has, you know, the only place you can play Mario, the only place you can play Zelda is by having a Switch.
The only thing that can kill Nintendo is Nintendo. And Nintendo has accidentally almost done that with the Wii U. So, yeah, I think only Nintendo gets in the way of Nintendo, besides the fact that...
Always running their own race.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes to a detriment. Like, I wish they had more power in their hardware, like, but that's never really been their bag, you know.
Well, it's funny because like Nintendo, like I personally, even since I was like a kid, like I remember back in the N64 days, I'm like, they're hamstringing themselves by not having CDs. The consoles are too small, you know,
those Final
like,
Fantasy cutscenes
or cartridges, and like you can't have real music recording, you know, like that's been the conversation with Nintendo forever.
Except GameCube.
Well, yeah,
GameCube
but like
flexing.
But then I was like, yeah, the discs are small. Like they're hamstringing themselves with these tiny discs. But like now I see the genius of their insanity, where it's like they aren't running the race, and like you always win the race that you're the only runner in.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't have to compete because they're not they chose not to, and now they're like no one is screaming, "Why isn't Mario on Xbox?" Because it's like, of course Mario's not on Xbox.
Totally.
Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Damiani, go ahead.
I didn't really have much to add. You're
picturing Mario
spot
on
on
Xbox,
there.
aren't you? That's what I would.
No,
picture
I was
playing
gonna bring
Mario
up like
on
the
an Xbox.
one
I just
thing
want
like
some
people want like
fidelity. Is that so wrong?
yeah. Nintendo on PC, because Sony's putting their stuff on PC. Like the only thing I can ever see is like the Pokemon Company, since they're not technically like, fully owned by Nintendo. If they ever made a decision to put Pokemon on Switch and like PC or like simultaneously day and date on mobile, like one of the mainline gen games coming up, that could be like something that's a realistic possibility. But Nintendo, I think you're like, Jenny, you're absolutely right. They're their own worst enemy sometimes. However, that's the thing I want to point out. I mean, the rumor about the new Xbox hardware possibly being handheld as well.
We're gonna get to that in a second.
And we have Steam Decks. We have there are a lot more things entering into the mobile and hybrid space. I mean, but Nintendo does have that strength of their first party IPs, and in long as they're doing right by those, they generally do very well. But at the same time, like the hardware, I think, as long as the hardware is not like it doesn't have a weird gimmick that doesn't work out, or it's playing it too straight and it's not going head to head enough. Like Wii U was just like underpowered, and the gimmick of the gamepad, it's like it was a 1-2 punch of like, what is this? Following up the Wii, we don't need to get into it. And like GameCube was
Unearth the trauma.
like late. Yeah, it was late to the party, but I'm very interested about we talked about this messaging. And it seems like this is what they plan to do. I also think like they have the added extra pressure because they also had the other leak about their plans with their hardware and potentially going digital only, which I think they're walking a fine line between the balancing this messaging for their first party exclusives and the future of their platform, and potentially abandoning physical going forward, and people who might be upset with that. And this isn't the first time Microsoft and Xbox have gone through this with the whole Xbox One reveal. They went through saying all the wrong things and seeing how much that hurt at that point. I think they're just trying to be safe and play it as carefully as possible.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Phil Spencer I was actually kind of surprised he said this out loud, but he was just like, I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. Like, so he thinks, he's basically just saying like exclusives aren't going to matter anymore. Like,
it's so funny because it's like if we're taking shots, it's like you lost the exclusive war by far,
years
by
ago,
miles.
I too also don't care about the thing I'm not good at. I'm like, what?
Right.
I never wanted to lift those weights.
Yeah, exactly. I think sword fighting not going to be a big deal.
So that's actually like adds another layer to the strategy of just like by having Xbox games on PlayStation, you're like further devaluing the perception of exclusives until Sony just has like a couple, and that's
I think
that's it.
What he's saying is also just true. It's just fat. Like if you look at the history, and especially if you want to get really nitpicky and pull out the like PC versus console, which I think a lot of us in the way we cover games and talk about games, we don't like count like the PC part of it. Like when you doing like a PlayStation podcast it's like, we just look at where it is console wise, but like that's still technically like multi-platform as well.
Yeah, totally.
And there's like a lot of instances of that, and that's only become more and more true as time goes on, and also is like the way games come out, who the publisher players are. Now the big three have been solidified. Like a lot of things have changed over the last 20 years that have made that a true sentiment for a long time. Now, does that mean Phil is like hoping to speedrun us there? Like, I don't know. It's like I would say no, because I think if Xbox can get good exclusives, that's what they've always wanted. Like, that's why they keep buying stuff. Like, that's obviously like a thing they care about, but at the same time, they do feel kind of almost at odds with their own like messaging of like, like we don't really care because like we want you to play anywhere. We're really good people and we like love games for gamers, but also like Starfield just hit this many whatever, our big so they kind of, and I think their dream would be to have both. Like, wouldn't they be such a powerful player in the space if they could have like banger titles and the power of Game Pass? It's like, they can have everything, and I think I think that's what they
Game
want.
Pass is the like wrinkle in that.
but they don't want to say, oh, we want everything, we're just failing at it. So instead it's kind of like,
Yeah.
we're sort of looking at the thing, which makes sense. And everyone does that. Like PlayStation does that too, where they have issues in their portfolio where they're like, we really need to get this live service stuff because like there's certain kinds of games you just can't really play on PlayStation.
Right,
Like, everyone's doing that. Except, Nintendo's out there like, I don't know what they got going on.
Yeah.
And they'll never tell you. So,
They don't care.
they're just like, I weaved this for you. And I'm like, oh my God.
I found this.
Yeah.
We don't know. Someone dropped this game off.
I'm like, the new Mario's really good again.
Yeah.
Another one.
Mario's really good.
Mario Wonder's so good.
Well, and along those lines, because like they announced that Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass. People have been waiting on this Activision Blizzard on Game Pass, and it's happening March 28th.
That is such a boon for
And
that
apparently
game.
it's only the beginning of Activision Blizzard on the service. And like that makes me wonder like how much more valuable to Microsoft is an exclusive than a giant title on Game Pass. Because I assume an exclusive is a bigger deal still, but by what margin? Like if they got something huge on Game Pass, is that just as valuable to them? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it must be tough though too with like just the general, and I know there are 35 million that they brought out with Game Pass users. I forget what the last self-reported number is because they're also just kind of self-report that. So I'm not sure to what degree it's going up or sort of not flatlining, but sort of kind of evening out.
The last I was looking at
That's a
this, I think
Bloodworth
last
question.
week.
No
Well, I
offense.
was looking it up last
so
week.
That's blood territory.
Yeah, I was looking it up last week, and like they consider it a success. Is the last thing I saw them say about Game Pass.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
who told you
Cool.
that?
Google.com.
No. But
just something. Yeah.
no,
it's a
for sure.
Microsoft
But I
thing.
think on that note too, like you have to wonder. Obviously, you want to like continue to add value to Game Pass, but at the same time, like if I already have Game Pass,
Right.
I'm not like. I mean, maybe you do unsubscribe because at a certain point you might be like, you know what? Let's get these numbers down.
Yeah.
But how many people are seeing that and they're like, now I got to get Game Pass. So I wonder at one point,
Right.
not necessarily diminishing returns, but how do they play that game in a sense? Like, I think they have a really cool thing with their day and date situation.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants that everywhere, and they're the only one that has it.
Yeah.
But also, there's kind of a reason they're the only one that has it. So it's like, okay, it's a risky
Because
kind
you
of
have to be as
angle.
rich as Microsoft to start
Yes.
that. Yeah. It's
I wonder
crazy.
if a PlayStation game came to Xbox later, would people pay money to get it on PlayStation first, or would they wait until it's on Game Pass? Like that's another
Well, and
element.
I think that Microsoft will definitely do kind of the thing that PlayStation does, where it's like, even in our, Final Fantasy VII video, the thing says like, exclusive until at least this day. And it's like nobody is specific on when or what something will come to later if there's an exclusive, right? And it's like Microsoft, I'm sure, will bring many of their titles to other platforms and stuff, but they're not going to tell you up front. They're not going to say like, hey, this one is going to come on PlayStation in 9 months. They're going to let you buy it on Xbox and then find out later.
Totally.
That's just how you play the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Damian, did you have anything else to add? Otherwise, I'll get into the console stuff.
I tried to throw something in Slack about the number. I wasn't able to see like what the past number was, but Tom Warren from The Verge clarified that the 34 million number put out by Microsoft also includes Xbox Game Pass Core subscribers. So they were converted to that as well. And also threw in that not all 34 million Xbox Game Pass subscribers will get access to Diablo 4 next month, because the game won't be available to Xbox Game Pass Core subscribers, which Microsoft counts as part of the overall 34 million subs. So those got converted, I guess. So there's some people trying to do the math if it actually grew or not.
So it's only Game
uncertain.
Pass people that will get Diablo, not the core subscribers.
Yes.
But what's the
According
difference
to
again? Because
this.
there's core, and is it just like core? And
Core
Ultimate?
is just like lets you play online, and I think now maybe has a free game or two because they just recently changed it.
Right,
so
that's
I
what
don't
they
exactly
swapped
remember.
with gold.
Right.
Slash
Yeah,
Because
live.
Live Gold went away, and it's Core and
Ultimate.
Ultimate,
Yes,
and
Ultimate
Game Pass
PC.
Ultimate,
Ultimate Console and Core.
Ultimate Console and
Okay.
Core. Yeah.
Oh, and then PC got rolled in. There's too many. They got
All these
I think they only have like
Yeah,
two, but
there's too many.
I could not remember what
Everyone,
Yeah.
IGN said it was, I was reading from there, but it's from this podcast too, same podcast. On the console front, Xbox confirmed that it's working on a next-gen console and that it will be the, quote, largest technical leap you will have ever seen.
Whoa.
In hardware generation.
Launching with Crysis 4.
And appear to tease new hardware for this holiday.
Wait, what?
That's what IGN said. That was their read on it. Quote, Xbox hardware will also continue to be a flagship experience for players and for game developers to launch their games on a robust and innovative multi-year hardware roadmap, including more console and controller options for you this holiday. So that could mean the Xbox 2 is coming out in this holiday, or
wild.
Xbox XXX, or whatever the fuck it'll be called. Or it's just those leaked iterations.
Chat's
probably.
asking if that, for clarification on that, is that actually the new model, not the next gen
That's
model,
what
but
we're
the new
saying.
revised models coming this holiday? Okay,
That's
sorry.
what I'm saying is like their quote is intentionally, I think, vague.
Got it.
Because I
Gotcha.
would doubt very
Yeah.
much that it's the next generation. I
Yeah.
think it's probably the iteration.
Yeah.
It's probably like some new controllers and an iteration. I would be shocked
I mean,
if the
it's-
next generation Xbox
Yeah.
comes out this year.
It just feels like another battleground in the war where it's
because
like...
didn't they in the deposition say 2027 or 2028 for the next console generation in the like lawsuits stuff that came out?
I don't remember
That's
that.
what I remember them saying something. Like that. Sorry to interrupt you, but
There's something like that. We had like someone from Sony saying
Sony
we're in
says
the latter
27,
half
yeah,
of like
it's-
PlayStation's
PlayStation
like
is
life. It's like
in the latter
what?
half of its age. Yeah, it's aging or whatever. And I'm like, all
don't
right,
even
They're
know
taking the
about that.
console out back. and
yeah, we're gonna
Don't worry
take
about
it.
it.
It feels like another...
It had a good run.
Had a good run. Yeah.
It feels like another battleground because if like they release it and then you can start saying like, hey, plays best on Xbox, like that's just
Right.
another
Right.
bullet point that you can throw out there to like encourage
And with
people to play whatever it
The
is
handheld
on
rumors
that.
that Damiani was, and like these
Yeah.
are, I don't know, maybe completely unsubstantiated rumors, but people are saying that maybe Xbox will get into the Steam Deck type race, and that could be this holiday, maybe.
I mean, if I was Microsoft, I would
Yeah.
make something so powerful that it can run GTA 6 at 60 frames. Be
And it
like,
would
"Yo,
cost
only
$800.
here.
Man, how much is it gonna
60 frames,
cost?
the only console that can run GTA 6
Like
on
the
60
Steam
frames.
Deck
Like if you
OLED
get too
is
expensive, you
$600,
start competing with PCs then.
Right.
I said console, only console.
The Steam Deck is $600, $700 for like the higher ones,
Yeah.
like, and that is like $720, like.
Yeah.
I like my Steam Deck, but it ain't like a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder how much the looks best, runs best on X platform
Yeah.
branding really like works
much it matters.
nowadays.
I wonder
If
if anyone
it-
cares.
Yeah, like
I think now-
I mean, like
I think-
Switch just like laughs in the face of a lot of that. It's like, haha, look at our version.
They
We
could
sell
even
more
say
than
it
your
runs
version.
worst on Switch and it would still sell.
I
Really
think in the last year or so, Damiani, that the preference for 60 frames or vice versa has like become such a talking point. Like it's been a thing, but I feel like lately it's more of a thing.
Yeah.
So if you can flaunt like 60 frames in quality mode or whatever, if you can like somehow corner that market, I think it is a big deal, and I think it's only going to get bigger as we get later into the console generation. Because even like 6 months ago, Eurogamer was talking about like these new games are not going to be 60 frames. There was that like pushback where it's like, all these new games coming out, they're mostly going to be 30, but like
right.
a lot of games still have a performance mode, but I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out.
So you're thinking they'll combine performance and
Yeah,
quality. What would that
yeah.
be? What would the name for that be?
Quality. Margaret
Performance.
quality.
Performance.
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 Queer form.
Perfolity. I don't know.
Quality. I like perfolity.
It's gonna be the new teraflops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear and this is why I love console iterations or generations because
All the stupid bullshit.
Yeah, the talking point because I'm like I don't know the teraflops.
Yeah,
PlayStation
the
has
haptics.
the power of the SSD processor. I quote that all the time. And this
Listen, that shows that SSD.
Yeah.
Love the power of the
Those load
SSD.
times are too short.
Yeah.
I can't read these tooltips out here.
Yeah. That's like the one thing Switch successor needs. I don't care what it has; it just needs an SSD to load stuff faster. It's like they can't be that far behind. But yeah, like I think like loading times, 60. I do think the 60 frames thing is a good point, but I think when people says plays best, the average consumer probably thinks of like fidelity, not the performance, like the image quality. And I do think like, that still matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I do think like it's been a diminished impact over time. I do think the amount of people that appeals to isn't a big enough, though. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have multiple SKUs. We see that, like, which one sells better usually when you have one that's more powerful and one that's like weaker, excluding one that's like, forget like Switch and Switch Lite and stuff. I'm talking about like a console, like a
Series
more like a
S
desktop
Series
format.
X. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually
like
shocked
how
that
those
Series
have like
S
gone.
sold
Yeah.
so well.
Did it sell better than the
I don't know if it
X?
sold better, but it sold really well.
I think
we
people will
talked
always
about
go
that
with
on
what's
it.
cheaper.
Yeah,
For the most part. Like the masses, at least. I think
yes,
the hardcore,
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hardcore's buying everything.
For
The
sure.
ugly statue, the
Right.
the $100 3-day
The floating Doom
battle pack pass,
controller, which we'll get into.
and then they're like, "Oh
later.
yeah, that game. Yeah, I didn't finish it." Like it's like and that's our culture. But regular people, they're like, "How much
Grandma
is this?"
goes in and is like, "What's the cheapest? What's on
Exactly.
sale?"
Yeah, because it's a gift.
I think
They're like, "Look,
Nintendo
this kid's like
figured
8
this
years
out a
old.
while
We
ago.
don't need to do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's Nintendo finally realized the most important lesson from Wii wasn't that it was like a gimmick and became like a cultural phenomenon for like the first few years. It was like ultimately how cheap it was compared to everything else, and that people could afford to maybe buy a Wii along with a 360 or a PS3. And then Wii U went up in price, and it's like, oh, wait a second, like, and all the stuff that was confusing about it, but like Switch, like, yes, it's nice, it's portable, but like I think price is everything for that for Nintendo. So unfortunately, like the other, like Microsoft and Sony, they aren't competing on that low end, so like they really can't get down that low. But yeah, I do think you're right. I think you're right that like there is a enthusiast market, just like there's a PC enthusiast market for like high end like GPUs, high end rigs. They'll cost a lot, but ultimately, yeah, it's like the lowest common denominator, and that's acceptable for like the masses, because the average consumer is gonna be like, what's the cheapest? Are they like, what's the real difference? And the average like GameStop person is gonna be like, it's not that big of a difference. No, like I want the cheaper one. Like it's gonna win at the end of the day.
Well, it's funny to me too because like frame rate to me feels like the like HD or like that kind of a like it feels like the topic that'll eventually we'll look back on it and be like, oh, isn't that cute? Like they used to worry about frame rate because it's like the human eye has a cap, right? Like there's a rate at which we see.
So far, we
So,
don't
I mean,
know
so
where
far.
technology is going.
Technology, yeah.
Yeah.
The counter
I'm
to
gonna need
retinal
new
implant.
eyes to
the
watch
counter to the
play
point I'm
this
about
game.
to make, yeah, we could get new eyes. But like eventually hardware will just be good enough and like people won't think about frame rate anymore because it will just run and it'll match the hertz of your TV.
Aren't
and
they
it
always
won't be
like
a
pushing
thing.
the limits?
Well,
though?
I mean, yeah, they'll be pushing resolution higher and higher and higher, so it will remain an issue in that way. But like eventually, like things will just run it. So it is kind of funny. I wonder if it's like the now issue is frame rate, performance modes.
Whoever runs GTA 6 better, you win.
I mean,
That's it. If you have a clear advantage with GTA 6, like, it definitively is the better version.
No.
whoever comes out first. I mean, if there's any
People are just
console
gonna play it. It's like it's whoever what their friends are playing it on.
Yeah.
like,
That too, yeah.
whatever they have.
But now with crossplay,
it's one or the other.
that kind of that's the thing that's interesting. Like so many issues that plagued like 10 years ago like don't exist or are not relevant.
Right.
So it is interesting to
Crossplay
think
is
of
way more prevalent now. Yeah.
what's going to be the thing that we don't have to talk. What can we let go from the discourse? Because we need to get rid of something. It's getting really overloaded.
Yeah. Okay, let's just let it all go.
Yeah, HDR is like done. Like,
Nobody
are we
cares
still talking about
anymore.
HDR these days?
Only when it goes crazy wrong. All right. Anything else on any of that Xbox stuff, or we're gonna move on to our next topic? That
I
was
think
a long
patience is key, and to let the news come, let the people say the thing before because it was out of control there for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like
It was like it felt like
learn from. Yeah, good.
no, it felt like some people thought like the video game industry was like done. They were like, "This is it. It's over. Like I saw that level
So
of
doom posting.
Yeah, I saw that level of craziness.
Gamers, you just have to never forget the true thing that matters. As Embracer will say later on,
Oh my God.
it's the shareholders, gang.
Fucking shareholders.
They're the ones that matter. We don't matter.
I can't believe they said
have
that.
that
Also,
quote.
I can't believe.
know.
I have
Talk
the
about
quote.
things I
know.
can't
Me
believe they
too.
said.
Oh, it's in here.
I'm glad you do. I had it just in case you didn't have it.
I have it.
I've got it locked and
I put
loaded.
it in so you can scream about it later. It's in also this
Free
week.
idea for anyone. That should be an end of the year segment. I can't believe they said this. And
Oh
then
my
you just,
God,
you just bring out
yes.
different quotes of things.
Yes, that is perfect.
I would do it. Blood would never go for it.
Just
All
don't
right.
tell him. Just start.
What?
Just don't tell him. Just start.
Don't
the
tell
segment.
him.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll just do
prepare
it.
that segment.
Yeah.
And then just be like, what are you talking? Did you not
We'll
look over?
hijack it like Pirate
Pirate
Dawn.
Dawn will come and just drop those bombs.
Blood will probably just start talking over us. Like he'll just be like, "Topic 3, Banishers Ghost of New Eden impressions. Michael Huber, go!" Like if we're like, and they said this. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Headline 3, Banishers Ghost of New Eden impressions. Hubie.
Banishers, sick game.
And it's good apparently.
Yes. This is from Don't Nod, one of my favorite studios of all time.
Why don't they think they want us to nod?
I don't know. You know, maybe just like be zen.
Like
you
be
know?
different.
Don't
Like don't
fall
agree.
asleep?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
agree.
Don't nod
Yeah.
off.
Don't nod off.
Yeah. Obviously.
Damiani looks like he knows, but we're not going to let him tell us.
No, what if it's NOD stands for something? Acronym.
I mean, nod is where
this game's
Cain
an
was
acronym.
banished to, right?
This game's an acronym.
Banishers
Be gone.
is a...
Be gone. Banishers.
That's right.
Just be gone.
Be gone.
Yeah.
Ghosts of New Eden. Gone. Be gone.
Holy fuck!
Dude.
All right.
That's
I'm
some
done
big
with the
brain
podcast.
shit! That's some big brain
Be
shit,
gone.
dude!
Yeah, that is next level.
Holy
Janet.
fuck.
Look, I didn't
That
play
is
the
next
game, but I did
level.
look at the title.
Be gone.
And I saw-
Did you just look at that
That
and
is
come up with that
insane.
right
No,
now?
I
It's
did. I
a
admittedly did hear it from.
palindrome. Don't Nod's a palindrome.
What's don't nod mean? Oh, it's just because okay.
it's a palindrome.
Ah, it's back and forth. Okay, each way.
It is a palindrome.
So it seems like this is part of their ethos.
Yeah.
My whole worldview is getting expanded
know, this
right
is
now.
insane.
Holy shit!
Yeah, well, we are in LA, so it's a good
Yeah.
spot for it.
Listen, we're all high on PCP anyway.
This is from Don't Nod, obviously of Life is Strange fame, but you know that's not their only claim to fame. You know, they started with like Remember Me, which is like action adventure.
I remember that.
Love that game, dude. Sci-fi action adventure. They did Vampire. They've done a lot lately because they're no longer involved with Life is Strange. They're trying to find their own way. Square Enix and Deck 9 are fully in charge of Life is Strange. So in the meantime, Don't Nod's been throwing darts at a board. I mean, they've done Tell Me Why.
Tell me why.
They did Talk to Me. They did Harmony. They did Jusant recently.
I forgot that was them. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done so many things. This is like their big budget one. I say big budget with quotes though, because it's definitely like, you know, I'm definitely getting Murdered Soul Suspect
Sure,
vibes
okay.
from this.
Don't nod big budget.
Yeah, like mid-budget, but basically I have to tell you the premise of the game. It's not a spoiler. It's what the whole game is about. So don't come
Gird
at
your
me.
loins, Chad.
Don't even come at me. It's the entire premise.
Character designs are really good.
Yeah, they're really cool. But there are two Banishers. There's Red and Antea. And spoiler alert, like she dies. She's a ghost. Okay.
This is not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler.
alert.
It's not a spoiler. It's the premise of the game. It's the
Yeah,
whole
it's
premise.
in the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what is really awesome about this game, in typical Don't Nod fashion, like Vampire style,
Did you
you
culturally re-examine Vampire yet, by the way?
I have not, but I
Okay.
want to because they like patched it all up.
Sorry.
But the premise is you basically have to get revenge on the ghost, but the ghost is a nightmare, which is like a more powerful ghost. Then you have to get revenge on the nightmare, but on the way to revenge, you can choose to straight up murder people and give her the essence to bring her back to life. And it goes against like their entire code of like banishing. So there's like pretty intense choices. I've done like one or two of these where it's like, yo, do you either want to like kill the person, murder them, and give her the essence to come back to life? Like you have to do
Right.
that a lot of times. They even tell you, they're like,
Very
yo,
Little Sisters.
they're like, yo, you're gonna have to kill a lot of people if you want to bring her back to life.
Yeah.
or you can like banish the ghosts that are affecting the humans and like let the humans live with like it's dealing with like regret and remorse and all these heady themes that Don't Nod is all about. But I'm going for the murder people because
oh my gosh.
Yeah, because that's the story that I want to watch.
Right.
I always play games like the good way, do the Paragon route.
Yeah.
But for this story, I'm like, no, let's ritual sacrifice, murder people to bring back our loved
So you're
one.
murdering just like the citizens that called you to help them from a ghost, and
Yeah.
you're like, cool, yeah, we'll help. Murdered.
Yes.
So on that note, like, what's that play style like? Because are you still what are the if you're just gonna kill everybody? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
do
you
your
ain't banished.
choices look like?
So the choice though will come at like the end of an investigation. So basically the gameplay so far has been the same where it's like, big open environments, RPG elements. There's not too many resources and leveling up, which is nice. It's like really scaled down. You get like, your weapon and your armor and like a talisman, like very minimal stuff, so it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's like a skill tree, you kill ghosts to level up. Just really basic RPG mechanics, which I actually appreciate because it's giving me that like dopamine kick of like, oh, I'm leveling up, I'm getting more skill points, but it's not like getting in the way of
Too
the
in
game.
the weeds, yeah.
The combat is fine. It's not bad. It's not great. Yeah, not bad, not great. It's
Say it again, and I'll believe you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Not what they're known for.
So it's
Don't
a-
Nod, really.
Is it good or above average?
I would say it's
Where's it on the skull and bone scale?
Yeah.
Ooh. I haven't played enough Skull and Bones, so I don't know.
Avoiding the question.
Yeah.
Convenient.
I would say though it's got some flair, which makes it above average. Cause she's the ghost, so like you can swap to the ghost world and be her and like take out other enemies that are like susceptible to that type of damage.
Okay.
You can like get a combo where he'll like use his sword and then she'll just appear and do some like hook, some like
cool.
right hook. She'll just come out of nowhere. So it's got some style.
Do you get to talk to her then as a ghost? Like,
Yeah,
So
she's around.
why do you want to bring her back? She's already there.
Oh,
Just because you want her in corporeal form.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
you
want-
can like so you can rub noses like with each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Perform your wifely
Does she have
duties
anything
Yeah.
together.
Does she have anything to say about, like, without getting too spoilery, like,
Yeah.
about
So
what you're
interesting.
doing, the path you're playing, Huber? Like, is she okay with this, or
She
She like, don't do this for me.
was into it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so she's into it.
So you're
She's
one of
like-
those couples.
Yeah, she's like, yo, I want to come back to life.
I mean,
So-
I hope she
You
comes back
got
and
him,
kills
I mean.
you.
I know. I don't know.
That's what I
like,
want to happen.
Yeah, like Don't Nod stories are awesome. So I don't know where the story's gonna go, but yeah, there's like really good world building too. There's a lot of like documents you can pick up that go fully into like what a banisher is, what a ghost is. The New Eden is the town, the titular New Eden.
Oh.
I think it's a fictitious town, but it's in like the Northeast. They keep talking about like Boston, like a lot of people left town to go to Boston because the town is haunted. Is also the premise. That's why you come to New Eden.
But it's like the 1600s or something.
1600s, like there's like the warning in the beginning too. There's like racial tensions, obviously.
Okay. I was
you know-
wondering how much it would actually get into that.
It hasn't gotten into it too much, but there was like early on where, the people assume the white guy is the leader, and like in charge. And it's like, no, she's in charge actually. Like, and they're like, oh, okay.
A woman?
Yeah. So there's like that
Yeah.
element to it. It hasn't gone too deep into it yet, but I'm like, 4.5 hours in
Sure.
to this game.
Are you worried that this game is just you pet cemeterying your wife? Because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm nervous that there is gonna be like a big
Like she'll come back, but she'll be like a husk or something. Yeah.
some full on consequence.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was like,
you ain't living?
yeah, I was like,
that ain't
But
living.
you're not
yeah.
living.
yeah, I would totally do the normal like, good person route, but I'm like, no, this just seems like for this game right now,
You're changed,
this seems like a really like I want to watch this. I want to see this unfold because you don't really see that often. Like it's a cool premise of like these people, and similar to Vampire, he's a doctor. So it always wrestled with like his Hippocratic oath of healing people, but he was a vampire, so he had to like feed on them.
Gotta eat
I
to
didn't play
live.
these games.
Yeah.
I'm so sold.
Oh, I
eat to
love
live,
Don't
dude.
Nod.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a lot of like choices and, a lot of townspeople you can talk to and little side quests. But again, the gameplay is just fine. It's, again, I think of Murdered Soul Suspect a lot, where it's like these, really small, very linear environments. It's like open environments. Like you can like explore stuff and do little side activities, a little bit. There's like a question marks on the map, but everything is very scaled down.
Yeah.
So it's not overwhelming. And, always just like a couple places to go off the beaten path.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, very, very focused.
Yeah.
And I'm super hyped to see how it all ends. I want to see how the combat and the choices carry out throughout the game, because there's like these optional hauntings that you deal with, and it's like, all right, are these going to be the same every time? Like, perform the ritual, sacrifice the human, rinse and repeat, or like, are the stories going to be compelling enough to make me invested in each one? So
Right.
yeah, got to see it over the long term. But right now, super hooked.
I was really pleased to see that it was getting good reviews, because
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like already a cult classic and like a unique thing, in a very crowded industry. Like it's definitely offering something, not like niche, but it's definitely offering something a little different. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So super hyped. It was really funny. Actually, the menu is like really weird. It's like, that when the cursor is on the screen and you like, I was playing with controller, but you like move the cursor. It's not like
Right.
D-pad or whatever.
Thanks, Destiny.
So I was like messing with the options and I didn't realize I accidentally put it in French. So like for the first hour of this game was like full on French subtitles. And I was like, okay, don't nod. Like,
Okay, artistic choice.
yeah, I was like,
Creators
this,
intent.
yeah, I was like, this is badass. Like maybe we'll get to like, Boston or something. Everyone will start talking English. And then like, it just kept going. I was like, this is a lot of French right now. This is like, because I love subtitles. I'm cool with it.
And you're
So I
like,
was
what the hell's
I was
going
like, I'm
on?
immersed. This is sick. And then I checked the options and I was like, why is it on the second tab there, French? And then I did default, like reset to default, and it went to English. And I was like, oh my God. So
Did
silly.
you start over?
No.
Compromise playthrough.
No,
then.
not at all. Not at all.
Was it just the subtitles or dialogue?
They were
and
speaking in
subtitles?
French. Like, it's
Oh, wow.
epic. Yeah. The ghosts like
Were the
talking in.
subtitles in English?
Yeah, subtitles were
Oh,
English.
subtitles were in
Yeah,
English.
subtitles were English.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But like the
It was
ghosts.
all French.
Yeah, I was like, how could you withstand an hour of entirely
The demon
French?
ghost was like talking in French, and it was so epic. Though I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds kind of fun, actually.
yeah.
A lot of speedrunners will do French, I think, sometimes, because it's like faster.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Cool game
Well,
though.
shit, you've sold us on it.
Yeah,
Seems
really
like.
cool.
You into it?
Again, there's a
That sounds cool.
yeah. There's
Seems cool.
But time.
It's definitely
And
not.
it's out now.
It's out now.
Okay.
Yeah,
On
And
everything.
I believe so. Yeah, I think Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. I don't know if it's on Switch.
Yeah. Switch doesn't count.
Yeah. So
When I
performance
say
mode in there,
everything, I
quality
mean
mode.
everything but Switch.
They got it
Yeah.
both. So
Cool.
really cool game.
Awesome. Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Who'da thunk? We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to just totally eviscerate that like button and the subscribe button. And hey, ring that bell too, because then you'll actually get notifications. And it helps the channel a lot. Also, it helps us if you leave a review if you're listening to us on a podcast app like Spotify or Apple or whatever. Review us on there. 5 stars preferably, but, be honest. Don't let this week, judge it by more than just this week.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best,
Yeah, you're doing your best. Oh yeah, there's like Shades of Souls in it too, where it's like you can rest at a campfire and bring all the enemies back and replenish
okay.
your
I like how you're just like, by the way, there's a whole other
flasks.
genre now.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
didn't mention.
It's got some like Shades of Souls, but the combat's really, really arcadey. You're just like mashing. You're just mashing it out.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's chill. And you get your super move with like the torch. And, like, I just wish they would say like back to hell. Like I love like banishing like vamps and like back to hell with
Or
you.
you know what they should say is be gone.
Be gone.
I'm still thinking about
This
that.
is the tagline.
My brain, dude. I was like, holy shit.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it. All right, headline number 4. This is an impression-heavy episode, by the way, because didn't find a big other story.
Slow news week.
Yeah, kinda. I got a
Couple
lot
big
of
ones
also
and-
this week's. I got a lot of also this week's, and we were doing an extra love and respect because I didn't find a headline 6. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Anyway, I played Islands of Insight,
Nice.
which just came out, I think, the other day. It's cute. It's so it's like an MMO puzzle game. You can create a character. You wander around different islands. You unlock different islands.
Do you get Myst vibes?
What?
Do you get Myst vibes?
Kinda. It's not Myst like in the sense that it has a like real like narrative thrust. It's more like an open world game that brings you between mini games, like puzzle mini games. So it's like, block puzzles or like logic puzzles and visual trickery puzzles. Some traversal stuff like finding hidden objects, lining things up, stuff. It's cool and it looks nice, and the idea of it is really interesting to me. I am not super clear on like how the multiplayer element would really impact it. I mean, like for me, I was just kind of going around and there were other people there, but I wasn't interacting with anybody. But I could see.
Okay, that sounds weird.
I mean, like, but I'm also like.
Well, Journey did that too.
Right, and I don't want to interact with people. Like,
yeah, leave me alone.
But like.
Sorry, I didn't understand like the premise. Like when they said like it's an MMO, like it is like the intent to be silent. Like, is there no way to actually communicate with other players?
No, you
in
can
the
chat.
game?
I think.
Or so there's in-game chat. So like, there's no
fly
puzzles
around,
designed where you need to work together at all.
I only got to the first 2 islands, so if there are, which I wouldn't be too surprised by. They're probably later. Like Myst Online, which I played a shitload of, only had a few puzzles that required more than one person, which, as a player who played by herself, by and large, was quite the surprise because I was like sitting there trying to solve it, and I like even found the things, and I was like, but this is like a timing thing. Like I have to do this at the same time. And then like someone else, another player had to be like, yeah, you need another person. And I'm like, what? you what now? Yeah, so if that stuff is in there, I didn't get to it yet. I would say that definitely Islands of Insight is it's cute. I don't know how I hope it takes off, but like
you're a puzzle girl. So
I love puzzles. And
how are the puzzles?
They're
First and
fine.
foremost.
Like it's
A lot of fines in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of fines.
Yeah. Here's my thing.
We gotta wait for yours, Janet. That's way better than fine.
Yeah. I really like very intentional puzzle games that are like, Talos Principle, Portal. Like those are very their own thing, and like they have mechanics that they came up with, that they invented, right? And this is stringing together a bunch of other kind of like types of puzzles, and like there's a lot of stuff in here that's inventive and new and their own thing, but it's more like, to me, I think the strength of this is, hey, I've got a half hour, I'm between stuff, let me just hop in, do a couple of little puzzles.
Nice.
Like instead of going to Puzzmo or like, the New York Times crossword or whatever, you jump into Islands of Insight and do a couple of puzzles.
Nice.
And like make some progress. Yeah. And you can unlock skills, like I unlocked double jump, and like you can customize your character and get wings and stuff. So it has all that.
That's the number one unlock in video games, right?
Wings?
Double jump.
Oh, double jump?
Is
Yeah.
number one, the best. If we're top 10 list.
Oh, for good?
Double?
Yeah, probably.
Double jump. Tell me,
And like
you
air
agree?
dash or slide. Yeah, it's
Slide or
double
dash.
jump
I
and
think the
like air
jump,
dash or
though-
sliding. Yeah.
I think it's gotta be the jump because you want to double jump.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you'll
You wanna
hit
hit
it
that-
again,
The
and
body
then
yearns to double
yes,
jump.
and then you'll hit it again, and you're like, I guess not, or like
Aw.
not yet, and then so that's the
Until
thing.
you see the joy of the bullet dash from Warframe. Then you want bullet dash in every game. Listen, I like Warframe.
Dashes are just wide double jumps.
Huh?
Dashes are just wide double jumps. You're just kind of
Listen, you're killing me, Janet.
That's got it.
Damn
That's a
it,
good point.
Janet.
That's a good point.
How often do people say that to you?
A lot,
All
but not
the
as
time?
often as you might think. I haven't heard it Like you said it right now, so that's pretty recent.
Yeah, that was a couple seconds ago. Yeah,
so all the time.
pretty good one.
I feel like I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah,
because I don't know how many people know that reference point.
a lot of
either.
people probably don't.
I
know
don't
what
even
it's
actually
from.
know that reference point.
I don't
like I know it's from like what Rocky Horror Picture Show. But I only know that because people were like, "It's from Rocky Horror Picture Show."
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." that's all
Yeah.
I've seen.
Hey, ain't no shame in that.
I'll have to go into the lore at some point and be like, "That's from the thing people say to me sometimes."
I was driving a friend who I won't name because I'm about to put them on blast. Well, not even on blast. Just, different people have different life experiences and different people are different ages and they haven't seen things, whatever. It's fine. But we were driving and I was like, yeah, it's like a Jim Henson thing. And then she was like, who's Jim Henson? And I was like,
That's a big one.
I was like, I'm going to crash this car. And then I was like, the Muppets. And she goes, oh, right.
Oh, the Muppets.
And then everything was fine.
The Muppets are bigger than Jim Henson.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
mean,
you want your
I'd say
children
so.
to outlive you, I suppose. Anyway, Islands of Insight is cool. Like it's casual like puzzle stuff. If you want to, to me
That's a cool sell because it looked super hardcore with like the
Yeah.
multiplayer aspect and all the different types of puzzles. I was like, this is like a grind it out Talos Principle multiplayer.
It looked like Talos Principle.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
structure of
Yeah.
like that. how-
definitely I get that. And like I was feeling very overwhelmed trying to like cuz there's so much you can do and so many puzzles in so many different directions that you're like, "Oh, I got to get all these puzzles. And so I had to kind of like reorient my expectation with the game to be like, "Nah, I'm just here to like do a couple and then like get my burrito out of the microwave and put on a YouTube video, like that's
That's a good life.
right. Like that's how we do.
That's what we strive for.
On the Islands of Insight, you do 4 or 5 puzzles, then you stop.
You mentioned that there are like several islands. So like, what's the progression?
Yeah,
island to
so
island?
when you I don't remember what they're called, but you unlock these little like diamond things in addition to skill points, and those are how you progress through the
okay.
game, and there are little quests and stuff. Parts of the I don't know if it was like the settings of the game when I loaded it up, like the volumes were all set to 30 out of 100, and like there was like an
Weird
opening
choice.
cutscene,
I've
but
seen that happen though.
yeah, it was
usually
weird.
not so low, but yeah.
Right.
70 I've
Yeah,
seen.
70.
But there was an opening cutscene, but like it was like silent, and there was there were subtitles happening, and I was like, "Is there?" I think it might have been something just wrong on my end, but I was like, it felt unfinished or whatever, and I tried it again on launch day, and it was still doing that. So I was like, I don't know, but I think it might have been just my settings were being weird, but
Yeah.
it was kind of weird. The intro felt strange and dummy.
Is there a threat?
Not so far.
No
The
threatening.
threat's not solving the puzzles.
I mean, the threat is your own
The
stupidity.
threat's all
Yeah.
internal.
It's all the mental damage.
Yeah.
The threat is math. I bumped into one of those logic puzzles, and it's like you got 3 chances and there's numbers, and I'm like, cool, I just won't do these.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
So, I'm reading something on the Steam page here because I was like curious, like if it said anything about like the shared world, multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
And I came across some others. So, are the diamond things called sparks? Because they were saying
The
they
all spark.
unlock new abilities.
That's sparks
They
are
say
for
there's-
abilities. It starts
Okay.
with an M, I think, something. It's like I don't want to guess and say the wrong
It's
word,
all right.
but
it's all right.
yeah.
They so it said like they have
Quests
like dailies.
give
So when you were
those-
like coming in, when you were logging in, were they like kind of like throwing those at you, or like how do you like discover? Because you're saying like it felt like there's a lot like too much to do. So
Yeah.
is there like any kind of like thing that nudges you in one direction, or is it really just like
There's a skill
it's
tree.
up to you?
There's a skill tree and there's a map, the pretty visually attractive map. And you can see after you get to the main, like there's a little tutorial island, then you unlock the little diamond or whatever, and you can go to the main first island. You can see there are basically like quests on there, and you talk to these like big pearls, I guess. And they'll be like, oh, finding your way or whatever. And it's like, do these 2 things and you'll get the next like thing. And then once you have enough of those things, you can traverse to the next island. It'll like unlock the jump pad to the next island basically. But like the islands are big and there's lots of cool like
Okay.
hidden stuff. And I don't know what the other skills will be, but I could imagine getting skills to like highlight hidden items or something like that.
Did
but
you play Phoenix Rising? What was that? Phoenix Rising?
Immortals.
I-
Phoenix Rising.
Immortals
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah,
yeah.
I kept getting that vibe.
Oh, it's
Gods
kind
and
of that vibe.
Monsters.
Yeah.
I got the
Visually.
Pathless vibe from it. Just traversing around and like solving little puzzles.
Yeah. And like I love that kind of stuff. Like I would like, especially in Talos Principle 1, I would, because the way they did secrets was a little different in that one than in 2. But even in 2, I did a lot of it too, where it's like jumping around, trying to get into weird places just to find secret hidden things or break puzzles or whatever. Yeah. So if you can withstand the embarrassment of options, the embarrassment of riches with puzzles, you could go do at any time, and like control your anxiety to just like do a couple and then be cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a cute game. I don't know. I it's not gonna like revolutionize the universe or anything, but it was fun.
Heck yeah.
But speaking of revolutionizing the universe, bringing democracy
Bringing
to the universe.
democracy.
My.
Review copy provided by PlayStation. Let's talk about Helldivers 2.
Yes. Yeah.
For Super Earth.
For Super.
That's what it's all about.
I'm doing my part.
Yes.
Yeah. I just bought the little finger guns.
Oh my
Nice.
god. I didn't know that's an emote.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need that. Yeah, so you've been playing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it. I think it's really fun. This is not really my style of game because it's, like shooter, multiplayer. Like I don't do a lot of multiplayer stuff. I just didn't grow up like gaming
People
in
are
that
scary,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let's just get plug into the controller.
Yeah.
We're
Don't
just two
speak to me.
people.
Yeah.
What's going on? So I kind of went into this pretty like unsure. I'm like, honestly, y'all, I don't even think I'm gonna like this game. Let's just play. Let's try it. And it won me over from like the tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like one of the best tutorials.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just because I think there's so much personality from the jump, even just the opening cutscene splash, it's so like campy and sarcastic and over the top with
Yeah.
like, we're here to fight for Super Earth and we're spreading democracy with bullets and airstrikes and we're gonna strike them into liberation. It's got that energy. It feels very in its comedy. It feels very like Fallout. A little
Yeah.
bit of Portal. Again, no one's as funny as Portal because
Yeah.
it's Portal. But there's moments of that. One thing I keep bringing up across places talking about this game is when it teaches you to heal and it like stabs you with a sword.
Yeah.
It's just
so
Like,
funny.
put your hand in here or whatever, and it just like, knocks
So
you out, and then they're like, "That's how you heal," and that's so funny and dumb and perfect. And I think this game has a really nice blend of being goofy in some spots, but also allowing for strategy and challenge. Where I think a lot of games sometimes to me can kind of struggle with that, and obviously like some people love like a slapsticky moment, but like I've never been someone that's like enjoyed things like Fall Guys too much. 'Cause
Right.
It's like too unwieldy. Like I need a certain level of control. It's why I like Overcooked so much because it's like just slippery enough. But
Well,
if
it's
you know
also,
how to
like-
do it, you can kind of manage it.
Humor in a game, nothing will make humor in a game fall flatter than if the mechanics aren't also really
Yeah.
solid. Like the funnier and more sarcastic your game is, the more solid the controls and the gameplay experience have to be.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh,
Sorry.
they hug.
Hug
How do
it out.
I don't know how to make them hug, but I'll
It's a later level thing, I think.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we were playing
something to
with,
grind towards.
Yeah.
we were playing with,
Good
with
reward.
chat, and like someone who was level 30 had the hug,
Yeah.
and like they would just come up to us, and we were
That's
like,
the
yes!
thing. That's the carrot on
Yeah.
the stick that I need.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I will say my only like negative on Helldivers 2 at this point is the progression's cool with like the stratagems, which are like
Yeah,
the,
those are sweet.
sort of things you can call down. You can call down weapons, airstrikes, or different kinds of like
I like
attacks.
typing in the combo thing.
Yeah,
for it.
that
That's
too.
fun.
Like there's so much like obviously there's thought in every game because like you're designing it, right? And that's very intentional. But I think what is cool about Helldivers is there's not just thought, but like a clear cohesion.
Yes.
And like everything speaks to each other. It's like it's arcadey, so it has those button inputs on the thing. There's a little arcade machine in your ship.
to practice it.
Yeah, like it's just so good. My only beef is the cosmetics are like
Yeah.
boring as
Yeah.
hell.
They already addressed it. They were like, "Yo, we're ramping up with like our post support now,
Yeah.
like because it exceeded all expectations."
And I'm
Oh,
still
yeah.
like, with the in-game
Yeah.
currency, like buying
for sure.
everything. But I'm like, I want to put on like a fun pair of pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I haven't found that
it would
yet.
be funny to really goof troop out.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
I was worried because we loved the first one so much.
Yeah.
But it's a different perspective. So when we saw that it was
Yeah.
third person, I was like, well, that's like entering that space that I like review a little harsher.
Yeah.
Maybe not review a little harsher, but I think I would
Different expectations.
Different
It's
expectations.
also more saturated of a space too.
More
Yeah. Oh,
saturated.
yeah, for sure.
Exactly. But then immediately with, like you were saying, with the humor of the tutorial, but then just how good the guns feel, how
Yeah.
good everything feels.
And how beautiful it
And
is.
how-
like,
yeah.
The trailers, for whatever reason, I did not get how good
It
looking
looked
this
and
game
good
is
it
from the
feels. It
trailers.
feels
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Like the heavy machine gun just like lying down.
Yeah.
It's
Reloading that thing.
reloading, like
So
everything.
stressful.
Yeah, just like tearing the Terminids apart, and everything feels so good and looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously we haven't yet uttered the word Starship Troopers. You
Classic.
seen Starship Troopers?
No,
It's really good.
Oh, it's time, Janet.
It's
It's time.
there's no time like that. But the best time is today.
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, like,
It's time.
you will immediately see how much
Yeah, like, oh, it's Helldivers, the movie.
Helldivers is borrowing
God.
from
Yeah, yeah.
Starship
Okay,
Troopers.
Sony's probably making that right now. Helldivers the movie.
I mean, they did, and it's called
Seriously.
Starship Troopers.
They'll make it again and then just
Yeah.
sell it with a different name.
Dude, a Helldivers movie.
I would watch the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Right? If there's Tornado 2 or whatever, it's like there can be
Twisters?
Helldivers.
Yeah.
Twisters.
Twisters 2.
Damiani's hyped.
Twisters going
Yeah,
off.
He's so
Twisters.
hyped.
Damian's
With,
going
with
off.
an S.
The dollar sign. I don't know if Don went away from the controls, but he
Ja-
loves Starship Troopers.
Jan, I'm curious what you would want to see out of Helldivers 2 within like the rest of the year. Like, is this going to be a game you keep coming back to? Do you want to see it expand? Like, what's your ideal? Like, do you just want to get to the end and roll credits and that's it? Or
Is there even a credits?
I don't even know.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I don't even
I
know.
would love a credits just because I like chasing credits, but I'm
Yeah.
also trying to like get away from that. I want to like embrace
Yeah.
just being here for the sake of being here, which is hard to do when you're like neurotic and tightly wound and short and angry. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like I just want the credits, but I want to get more into stuff that's just fun to play and check out, and it's like a different way to experience games. I don't know. I was talking about this with other people earlier about like what the narrative through line might be of like is Super Earth gonna eventually is everything gonna close in on Super? So I'm curious if they're gonna have a more overarching
the
narrative. and
Helldivers
lore.
go rogue.
Yeah, like
Well, I
just
was wondering if eventually you'd fight other Helldivers. Like, but they said officially they're never going to add PvP
okay.
because that would. They said they don't want to lend to the toxicity.
Yeah.
Of
I think that's kind of fair, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind maybe in a world seeing different modes. Like the only other it's not even ongoing. I guess it is an ongoing game in a sense, but like Splatoon. Like Splatoon's the only other like that and Fortnite are really the only the ones that I like come back to that have that kind of style of like
Right.
multiplayer. And Splatoon did eventually get like, you know, salmon run, things like that. So I could see maybe additional modes. I want to customize like I'm big on customization for a game
Yeah.
that puts it as like one of the main incentives. So I want
Totally.
more stuff in my ship.
Yeah.
Like let me
yeah.
also
In
I
the
want a
ship.
leaderboard. I want a
Decorations.
leaderboard on that thing for my friends that come visit my ship. Like
That's
I want
good too.
I want like incentive to like squat up to my ship, you know.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm rolling with the Princess of Audacity. It's the name of my ship.
I'm the representative of Audacity.
Okay. What's your ship name?
The Lord of Redemption.
Very you.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Okay.
My wife and I were not sure if we should go with Queen of Audacity or Representative of Audacity.
Nice.
We decided Representative of Audacity.
There are some good names there too, and that's where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I see what you're doing and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, kind of like circling back to what makes Helldivers 2 like cool and different, is like I'm not a big shooter person, and it's a shooter where you don't have to shoot that often, like because you can just call down stratagems over and
sure,
over
yeah.
again. So it's like I'm throwing mines.
Yeah.
And do we need the mines?
Yeah.
We have them because I threw them down.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter if we need them or not.
And my favorite thing ever
That's-
is the co-op stuff where like one person is like reloading the backpack on weapons. I don't have that unlocked, but I know it's in there.
Same.
Like
Yeah.
that.
I think I want to get that.
Yeah, that stuff is my favorite.
I
It
would
just
love to
gives
play
me
this
that
as like a backline support
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
for everyone else. Like
'Cause-
that'd be really fun.
Yeah, like Battlefield is like, you know, I would say overall in my whole life, the Battlefield franchise is like my favorite multiplayer. Like overall, because there's been so many, and I've, you know,
Even more than Fortnite.
yeah, because I mean, I played the original Battlefield 1942 like all the way back,
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
a little bit of that nostalgia. But like, just the support roles in that, and like healing people, and like throwing med packs down. Like, I want more of that in
Hell yeah.
Helldivers, where it's like, you know, maybe entirely new. Like, I guess there's not really classes,
Yeah.
but like. Yeah, just like more ways to help the squad, I guess. I
Sort
guess I
of
just got to unlock more of
organic
that too.
classes by
Yeah.
like what you pick for your loadout,
Yeah.
sort of. Damiani, you were gonna say something?
Oh, just the point Janet was making about like you don't have to actually like shoot too much, but there's other stuff to do. Like I like that about Fortnite. Obviously, you do shoot a lot, and obviously it had build mode, but a lot of the times it's just like running around securing stuff and then, like traversing the terrain.
Get into this house.
That stuff is like
out.
fun and interesting, and like it gives you that avenue to be like social with your friends. That's like to me is like 90% of the game versus like the shooting part. It's like, oh, the shooting comes at some part. It's like you don't pull the trigger that often, and it is meaningful when it happens, but the fun stuff is just running around with your friends and seeing like how far you can get before those firefights happen.
Talking about Warframe. Think about when Warframe launched versus where Warframe is now,
God, yeah.
and how much they
So
added.
different.
Like Helldivers could, you know,
God, yeah.
with how much of a success this is, it could totally
if Helldivers
like
2
get that crazy. Like they could add so many things.
If Helldivers 2 in 10 years is like as complex and bizarre and sexy and weird as fucking Warframe is, there's a planet in Warframe that instead of having a day and night cycle, it's 2 immortal worms that just keep killing each other over and over again.
What the hell?
Foss and Bohm.
Sick.
They're fucking sick.
It's like Nidhogg if there were 2 of them.
Yeah. Except one of them glows warmly like the sun and one of them has a cool glow like the moon.
Cute.
And so it looks like a day and night cycle, and then there's every hour they kill one of them kills the other one and their goop flies everywhere.
That's pretty awesome.
And then they regenerate over an hour.
I
If
love the
Helldivers
goop.
2 gets into that kind of stuff later, like, that would
That's
be
actually
so
what the
amazing.
game's missing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see next.
Yeah.
I like the goop on the cape.
Oh my
When,
god,
like, you kill
yeah.
a monster or whatever.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
sprays you. It's so good.
was
I
gonna
like
say something
customization
and I
on the
forgot.
ship. That's my favorite. I want like my own little bunk, my own little
Yes,
room.
yeah. Decorating the ship
Yeah.
is huge.
Let me put some cool little trophies here.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Sorry.
Don't remember.
Sorry. That Helldivers 2 is freaking awesome.
Oh, that's
then
what I
it's
was
on
gonna
the
say.
path of
No,
Warframe.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that versus Helldivers 1, right? Because before this game came out, we were all talking about like, oh my god, we're gonna friendly fire the hell out of each
Yeah.
other. It's actually much less of a problem than I
I
expected.
agree.
Because of the
Really?
because
Unless
of
Waddled
the-
Unicorn is in there.
Well, unless you Waddled
Yeah.
Unicorn.
Turn in
You
your
did
gun and
great.
badge.
You did great, Waddled Unicorn. But the third dimension, you know. There's a whole other dimension to not shoot your friends in.
Yeah.
Because in top-down 2D, it's just like, if you walk in front of me, I'm shooting you.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, it's like, I go up on a hill, and I'm just like over everyone
So
else, you know?
Right.
But
Yep.
then it makes the moments where it does happen so much funnier. Or if you get hit by the extraction ship, or like
Versus
somebody's...
the mines.
Yeah,
Walk into the mines.
Gabby walked into somebody's
I'm like,
mine.
you just gotta weave through the mines. And I was like,
look out
oh.
for the mines!
Yeah, but you twisted your ankle, landed in the mine. That's the other thing too. You can like get. There's like so many cool details. I think. In
Yeah,
the game.
your arm is broken. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I twisted my ankle. No matter what happens to me, I just shout, I yell out, I twisted my ankle towards you. I'm like, oh, my ankle really hurts.
That's really funny. We should start doing that. Sick. Yeah, Helldivers 2, shockingly good.
I want to play right now.
Yeah, I think especially like I made like the last point is like it was so like at least for me going into this, it's like okay, like an old thing that the people that liked it, but it didn't wasn't like moving heaven and earth.
Right.
And now you're changing it. So it kind of just felt like to me, I'm like, aren't you just going to lose the very small audience you
I was
had?
worried. I was worried.
And
When
then
they
they
announced
were
it,
like,
we were all
no,
like, oh, whoa.
this is our like God of War Ragnarok moment.
Yeah, seriously.
If for some reason maybe God of War only had Chains of Olympus on PSP, like in that universe,
Right.
that would be this.
Chains of Olympus is all right.
I like Chains
Yeah.
of Olympus
Chains
on
of
PSP.
Olympus is all right.
Ghost
But
of
there's a
Sparta,
reason
though.
that I
Ghost of Sparta.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it good or bad?
Really good. Ghost of
Yeah.
Sparta is really
What was
good.
that? What was
PSP.
PSP also.
really? Was
Yeah.
that?
It was
I never
after
played it, but I
Chains.
knew about it because
After.
I cut like the retrospective at Game Trailers. And I
Okay,
was like,
maybe
oh,
I
these
should-
look actually
maybe I
pretty
Ghost
should
of
good.
Sparta
look
is
that up.
sick.
I've been looking to get into like to have like a retro handheld to
Yeah.
like carry
Dude.
around with me and like
If you play Silent
Play
Hill
slowly.
Book of Memories, let me know.
I'll let you know. I have
Or
the
Origins, which are both of them. I think.
one of my friends was like, "Hey, I'm getting rid of a bunch of my games because I don't need all these games," and I bought a bunch of them, didn't play them, so they're
Yeah.
just sitting there. One of those is
That's
the-
games for
yes,
you.
that's gaming. Like buying the game and not playing it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you play the game,
backlog,
you're-
I gotta do
game.
that.
if you beat the game, you're not a real gamer.
You're not a true
What's going
gamer.
on? Like,
Yeah. You're not a true gamer if you're not buying more games than you're playing.
the only I've never played Silent Hill stuff. I think I started with one of them, like through the
Get
PS
my reaction
Cloud
shot, Don.
thing or whatever.
Okay.
We felt it, we sensed it. But I have the Silent Hill, I think, experience on UMD. It's like
Yo.
a video or a series of comic
Holy
strips or
shit.
something. I have that.
I've not
locked
seen
and
that.
loaded.
Yeah, I didn't even see
Oh my
that.
gosh!
Next time you're here,
I wish I'll bring it.
Bring it. Yeah.
It might even still be sealed. If it's sealed, we can open it together.
Dude, let's do it.
Yeah.
For real.
sounds awesome.
Come back.
Oh, yeah.
Come back like in 2 weeks. I'll be out of town next week. I'm seriously.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm not even kidding. I
It
wanna see
finally
that.
gets to like. I
wanna
know I
see
bought
that.
all these random DS,
Yeah.
3DS, DS, and PSP games for a reason.
We have
so.
an overhead camera. We can just park it there
Hell yeah.
and watch
Can finally experience. I wish it was like back in the day. I had like the Logitech speakers that I'd like hook it up to.
That's
Get that good sound. I watched Batman Begins in my kitchen eating a fucking sandwich in the dark
Dude.
like a serial killer.
No one was
and I had the best day that
As
summer.
intended.
I had it all planned out as a child. I'm like, this is gonna be my evening. I'm like, we're gonna put a sandwich. We're gonna put hot Cheetos, more ham, more hot Cheetos. Top it off. Like,
damn.
Batman Begins on
Yeah.
oh yeah.
UMD.
PSP.
Yeah, on UMD that I was
I
heavy
had
into
Terminator
Hitch.
2 on there.
I know Hitch more than anyone. I know Hitch more than the people that were in Hitch. I think at this point in my life,
You poor thing.
because of that UMD.
I had the TV tuner for the Game Gear, but my
Same.
dad would never let me use it. And I'm like, what do we buy this thing for?
Yeah.
Let me chew through batteries with this TV tuner.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to television, Dad.
10 out of 10
yeah.
Game Gear reference.
We need more. I miss the era of like
Really?
dumb peripherals.
Dude, I love fucking Game Gear. Three Ninjas or Surf Kids? Which one had the...
Three Ninjas had Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Three.
yeah.
They played Super
Kids
Mario
had
Brothers
the-
3.
One of them, some kid had a Game Gear. And he could
Probably
like
Yeah,
do
one of
magic
them
Surf.
did.
shit.
I think Surf.
Surf Kids. He could do like
Surf
magic.
Ninjas was the Game
Yeah,
Gear.
because
Ninjas?
Three Ninjas
Okay.
has Super Mario Brothers 3 in their room. They're like playing
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
What I really want is the Game Boy Micro, that little tiny handheld. Because then you can just put it in your pocket. You can take it everywhere.
Yeah.
You always have a.
The one Reggie
GBA
took
game.
out back in the day.
Oh, did he?
I heard that.
Yeah,
Analog
Reggie did.
Pop
I think that's how he revealed it. He took it out of his pocket. Yeah.
I miss Reggie. Reggie was always just,
Reggie, dude.
Remember when he read that
Yeah.
speech, that weird poem that he read randomly?
Everything he did
The
was
point of the
weird.
game is to win, and I'm like, no, it's not. and he just went, and we just were like, you know what? Good for you, man.
He owned it. He owned
Yeah, I
Everyone's
love
like,
that.
okay, cool.
I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, Reggie, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I'll have a
Maybe we can
cheese
get
hand.
I just
Nintendo
always
some
remember-
weird peripherals again.
I just
Yeah.
always remember he said it 55 times. 55! That was unintentional.
Yeah.
He would always just be like, software drives hardware. Just
He did
over
love
and
to say
over,
that. He
dude.
loved it. My
Over
favorite
and
now is
He's
just
right.
the unexpected cut to Reggie in the audience at Jeff Keighley stuff. Like he'll just like something else will be happening. They'll just cut to Reggie and he'll be like, "Oh, love it, live for it."
Heck yeah.
Are we done with Helldivers 2? Good game.
We are
Great
not
game.
done. It has only just begun.
But I mean, talking about it right
Yeah.
now in this podcast. Anything else to add?
No.
Okay. I
But
guess we
that's
did
fun.
move pretty thoroughly into UMDs.
Yeah.
The Christopher Nolan approved way of watching a movie.
Well, I mean, we didn't have, I didn't have that podcast at the time. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like a child. So it's
Right.
like, all right, well, now's. When
Do
else am I
children
gonna
have
talk about this?
podcasts now? That feels like the next step of
Probably.
human society, right? Just like you give a kid a podcast and a gun when they're like 3.
I mean, that's the American way,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh my god.
Here's a ham sandwich, a podcast, and a gun. Go play by the pool.
By the pool, dude.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
Anyway,
One image. Someone draw that or
Yeah.
don't, and then burn it.
don't draw that.
Draw it
Don't
and then burn it.
Yeah. Review copy provided by PlayStation. Also this week, so last time I hosted this, Bloodworth laid out the entire podcast for me. I barely had to do anything. This
Yeah.
time it was the skeleton. He's at Dice. He's doing his thing. He's greasing those palms.
I hope he's playing craps.
He's playing craps.
shaking.
He's buying people in,
Yeah.
whatever it is you say. The one thing he did prepare for me besides the skeleton is he just wrote the word layoffs
Oh,
at the top of also this week,
Why?
which he had just, I texted him. I'm like, you wrote the word layoffs, but I'm not finding any huge layoff news this week. Shockingly.
I heard on the radio Paramount laid off a bunch.
Yeah,
but
and there
that's
was
movies and stuff.
One
so.
MMO, I didn't write it down. I don't remember the name. Their logo's like an eye. They had been reported last week to have laid off 70 people, but apparently it was more like 15.
It feels like every single company.
I
Yeah.
just go back to that Kotaku article of every layoff.
Oh, every
and I
yeah.
just-
I looked at
It's
that too, but
insane.
yeah.
It's
But
bleak.
this week we did get some layoff related news in that Embracer has warned of more
Here
layoffs
we go.
despite letting go 1,387 staff since June. They also said, our overruling principle is to always maximize shareholder value
Sons of
in any
bitches.
given situation.
Oh, gosh.
They also claim that the restructuring is approaching the final stretch.
Oh gosh.
They had hoped to hit their like projections by March, but who knows?
Well, now it's time for the age-old question: are they more evil because they said it, or are they less evil because they were honest about it?
Yeah, I always figure
I think more evil. They
companies
just
saying, like-
they have no fear. They're just like, yo, we're doing
trying
this.
to normalize it.
Come at us.
like
we're
think about
embracing.
it at Easy Allies, right? There are 6 of us, and if I was just like, hey, in the next 2 months, I'm gonna fire one of you. What would that do for morale? That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's insane. Except it's thousands of people, and they're just like, hey, we might lay people off more. Like Riot did that. It's crazy.
Yeah, Embracer might be. I mean, it sounds dramatic to say they're the worst thing to have happened to the industry, but they're up there.
They are up there
Because-
100%.
And I think, like, I just keep thinking back to like when they did all those purchases, and we're
Yeah.
like, "What's going on?"
we're gonna
And
get,
they're
like,
like,
new DA6s.
and then we take it,
When
we
it
just
first
throw it
started,
away,
yeah.
and it's like, it's been so just devastating the way they've sort of picked up these studios like
Yeah.
toys that they either no longer need or need to pawn off to, I don't know, fund their bicycle pool gun shop.
Yeah.
I definitely
don't
like.
know, man. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Damiani.
Damiani.
I mean, it feels like the reports about that funding not coming through. It feels like they gambled the house. They were
Yeah. They
all
did,
in
yeah.
on that, and we're seeing like this. You know, this is where it all led to. That businesses, you know, they rely on this like capital investments, and they were like thinking that was done deal, and like there has to be more safeguards for that shit because
Yeah. Embracer Group
can't
is like
have
a
this,
character.
like, keep happening.
They're like a character in Fargo or something where it's like they make all these crazy like gambles getting into all this crazy debt because they have this harebrained scheme that they're just sure will pay off, and then when it obviously doesn't, they're just fucked and they have to go to like plan Z. That's Embracer.
yeah, yeah,
Like they're
taking
hiring
your, like,
someone to
life
kidnap their own
savings.
wives now. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, or taking your life savings and going to Vegas, like one game of blackjack,
It
betting
feels
my
like
whole life
them
savings.
taking someone else's life savings
Right.
and going
Yeah.
to Vegas.
Yes,
and they're
exactly.
Yeah.
like, don't worry,
there
I
you
got
go.
it. And they're like, hey, man.
And the people they're
Look.
taking from is like,
Huber, did you need that $6,000? Because I got to be honest. I was feeling really good. I put it all on number 7.
yeah.
It's my lucky number. You have to understand where I was coming from.
7.
Didn't work out.
Yeah. Honestly, wait, it's Le Chiffre from Casino Royale.
Yeah.
How his plan to repay a bunch of international warlords is a poker tournament.
Just to win that tournament. Yep.
And he's not even cheating.
I know.
It's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Oh, God, Embracer. But there was that tenuous, like, first couple of weeks where we were all like, they were like buying everything up and we were like, this seems like a bad idea, but like, hell, if we get more Deus Ex or something,
Yeah.
like that could be cool, maybe. And now
If they
it's
believe
like,
in
well,
it, if they fund it,
Right.
you know, if
Like,
they're
we-
like some champion of gaming.
we thought it could be good for like a second.
Yeah, I think the thing that sometimes we maybe forget is that a corporation is still, you know, a business at the end of the day that has financials and money. Like,
Yeah. The
just like
shareholders.
people,
Shareholders.
they can buy things they can't afford.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like-
right.
And
They
they can make
totally
bad
did.
financial decisions, you know? So,
They buy things with pretend money,
Yeah.
with projected money from
So-
a Saudi deal that could fall through.
Yeah.
But it won't fall through. Why would that fall through?
And it fell through hard.
And it fell through hard.
And now so many people are paying the price.
It's bonkers.
It's really bad.
Continuing in the bummer news, Yoshitaka Murayama, the creator of Suikoden series and Ayuden Chronicles, and the head of Rabbit and Bear Studios, the people making Ayuden Chronicles, passed away February 6th due to complications with an ongoing illness. Real bummer. Like, the studio put out a really heartfelt kind of statement about it, which you can read on their website. Just kind of a bummer because, like, that game is coming out fairly soon, and he,
Yeah.
you know, has always been, like, really involved with the fan, and like, I don't know, it's a I love Suikoden, you know, so it's just like, yeah,
Felt that one.
it
You know,
happens,
when someone
but-
touches your life,
yeah,
you're emotionally invested.
yeah,
That game touched you.
oh for sure. All right, in better news now,
Yes.
an announcement trailer for Ys X or 10 Nordics was released, saying that the game will come out in fall of 2024 for Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC. The website says This journey takes place in the northern islands, collectively known as Obelia Gulf, or Obelia. In this harsh land, the young adventurer Adol Kristen, who I think is encounters the Normans, a seafaring tribe, and is quickly drawn into the conflict between them, the townsfolk of Obelia Gulf, and
saga.
the Grieger, Grieger.
Griga.
Missing a vowel in there. Grieger. Undying monsters with mysterious agenda.
Whoa.
This latest title
Mysterious.
the monsters have a mysterious agenda. They're mysterious monsters. Oh.
Love it.
This latest title in the East series takes us back to a younger Adol. Adol? I feel like I'm saying that name wrong. As he sets out on an open sea, join him in his pursuit of the thrill of adventure.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Yeah, long-running franchise. I know the last one was very well received.
Yeah.
For that franchise, So
Yeah. Cause
I'm out of the loop on Ease, but
I've always liked that company.
Yeah.
Because they've come here a couple of times and we've met them and they're really chill. So I don't know. I'm always just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And if they even build on what they did with the last one, could be another, it feels like this year is it coming out this year?
They claim fall?
It feels like this is quickly becoming the year of the RPG.
Oh my God, yeah.
Let's go. So there've
there
already
another-
been so many.
Is there another big RPG coming out?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2. Diablo 4 released a purchasable cosmetic pack for portals, like town
Oh my
travel
gosh, here we
portal,
go.
like your back portal.
How much?
And it changes the color. You get a pack of 5 colors,
Okay.
$30.
Oh my
But Huber, it does come with 1,000 in-game currency coins, which amounts to about $10.
Okay.
So really, the 5
that
colors
lessens
for
the blow a
portals
little
is
bit.
$20 for 5 colors of portals.
$20 for 5 colors? Come on.
Wow.
It kind of sounds like you're being shortchanged in that. Like it's like, okay, now you gave me 30, so
Yeah.
I give you 15, and
Yeah.
then hold on, but I take 10. It's like,
Yeah.
call your manager over.
Yeah.
because you're being
Yeah.
shortchanged.
There's an
on your
exchange rate happening that is not, And
I don't think this was on. I didn't order this. I guess
they
you
also
know,
apparently have a bundle for like a horse and some coins that cost more than the game itself.
so wild,
Just like,
shameless.
come on, man.
Because
Like,
it's. I don't know. I'm guessing that horse armor doesn't cost a lot to produce. Something like that. You can just make that really easily.
in work person's
work
hours.
hours, how much that
I don't
costs,
know.
and then you just slap that on the store, and
It depends on I guess if someone's
5% of the player base buys it, you're making bank,
yeah.
and it's that's.
I imagine you have a team of
model.
people making cosmetic armor and gear, and that's a 3D
Yeah.
modeler, and you have people who test it to make sure it's not clipping all weird, and
Yeah.
the people who put the color on it or whatever. Yeah, it's probably a week or two. I don't know.
Just wild. It feels like you have
65.
nothing to lose except optics, I guess. People will scoff at it, but only the people that are paying attention, which is not a lot. So
Yeah, and I mean games are all buyable stuff in games has long been very. The pricing
crazy.
variances are so wild.
it's so crazy that that's just normal now. After I just
yeah.
said that, it was just I guess it's just normal. It's whatever,
Yeah.
$70 game, $70
Yeah.
microtransactions, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's
it's
shit-
crazy.
You can buy a Prime Warframe in Warframe, and it's $40.
Yeah.
For a Prime I mean, you get a bunch of other stuff, but
I
it's
got Shredder
and I'm like, shit, yeah, I'll do that
for $10 in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Not even $10.
I mean, what are the ships they're selling in Star Citizen or
Oh,
whatever for
dude.
tens of
Oh yeah,
$1,000?
there's the one I can't remember how much it cost. There was one ship pack that was every kind of ship, and it was I don't think it was 6 digits, but it was a lot.
Wow. Helldivers, super
you-
friendly right now.
for
Let's
that
keep
you
it that way,
had to-
Helldivers.
Yeah,
Keep it friendly.
Star Citizen's one like that.
I mean,
That top one, you had to have already spent $10,000 just to be eligible to buy it. It's for the
That's
high
wild.
rollers only.
it's like, remember when that app came out back in the this makes me sound like a million years old. So that app that came out back in the day that was just expensive, and it was just to have it on there.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that. I do remember that. I don't remember what it was called.
It was during that same era where we had that app where it's it looks like I'm drinking beer on,
Yeah,
on the phone.
yeah. An innocent time.
True when we were really pushing what technology could do for us.
As reported by Games Radar, the subreddit for Hollow Knight was whether tongue-in-cheek or not, they were threatening to delete themselves if Team Cherry didn't release any Silksong news by the end of February.
God, come on.
I assume it's mostly a joke,
funny.
but
I hope so.
Team Cherry has
Let it cook.
Team Cherry has been radio silent since June of 2022.
It's long. How many times have I sat here and guaranteed that it would be at some direct or event? I've
all of them,
guaranteed
every
it.
single time.
I know.
Are you worried that if you stop, then maybe you're the thing that's making it now?
You're
I know.
the thing.
I'm done with. There's no more. No, it's just.
You're the
You're the
portrait
curse,
of Dorian Gray, but for Team Cherry. But what's ironic is the last time we heard from them in June 2022, they had said that the game will be out within 12 months.
Yeah.
Or rather,
the
Phil Spencer said
thing,
that,
yeah.
so who knows. But so the subreddit is threatening to delete itself. And as I would say to any subreddit, please go for it.
I'll say this has got to be the year, right? 2024. We are.
It was until you, Michael
Here
Huber,
we
said
are.
that.
I don't know. I will say it would be a convenient time for it, especially if PlayStation's putting out less of the heavy hitters of their exclusive. But also, I don't know. It's never a good time to release a game because there's always a lot of games out.
Yeah.
But there's so much critical acclaim that I'm sure they're gonna do fine with selling things. So I don't know.
Yeah. I worry for Team Cherry because it's that game has so much built up heat on
Such
it.
high expectations.
Yeah.
And the expectations are even if it's it has to be better than Hollow Knight.
Or as good.
Yeah, I think it could be
As good or better,
As
but
good.
still that's not an easy thing to achieve.
I
Hollow Knight's
know.
one of the most well-regarded games ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they made it.
I mean,
It's okay, just do it again, but different.
Yeah, just do it again.
But a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think though I'm not too worried about that. I think they'll be fine because I think people are excited. They're ready to love it, but at the same time, that love can turn. But I just don't think it will. I look at
I
things
hope
like
not.
Ori in the jump to 2, which
Yeah.
was not that big of a jump. And people were like, "Yeah, it's cool."
I almost think don't reinvent the wheel for Silksong. Make it more of the same plus 2.
Just make her unique.
Yeah. She's
Hornet.
a little different, and that's
Yeah.
it. That's enough.
I think it's funny though because we always talk about, or I talk about how annoyed I've been by a game that I am 10 out of 10 hyped for, and that's Hellblade 2, because they keep showing it. They keep showing it. They keep showing it. And it's is the radio silence for Silksong a good thing or a bad thing?
I think
it's kind of scary because it's is it development hell? What's going on? But also so many months go by where I can just be distracted by other things and not think about it. So I don't know.
I think it's
I don't know what's the way to go.
I can't think of too many because they're still indie at this point. They're not owned by anybody, are they?
I don't
think they
I
are.
don't think so.
Well, especially with a indie project, a small team project, I imagine they might have less of an assurance of that pipeline and that timeline, and even AAA with all the resources gets it wrong so many times, whether it's internally or front facing.
Yep.
I can't think of a lot of indie games that have a heavy marketing push in the way that AAA or AA does, and I think that's for a number of reasons. But I think that fits the bill. It's okay. I'm
Wait
not
for that push.
think of the guy that made Stardew, where he's working on the chocolate frontier or whatever.
Yeah.
The haunted chocolatier.
Chocolatier, yeah.
The haunted chocolatier. Who could forget? I don't think I'm gonna see that 82 times, but I know I'll see Deathloop 82 times because they're we want you to buy it and we need you to buy it because it costs $1 kajillion to make.
Right.
Totally.
So yeah, but once we do have a date, we're gonna lose a lot of memes of the Where's Silksong. So
Definitely
rip
will.
to that, but it'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has sold more than 1 million copies worldwide. It hit that figure 11 days after releasing, February 1st.
I want to play.
So that's pretty sick. IGN is doing their own little E3 with a live in-person 3-day fan event in Los Angeles in June, featuring gaming and entertainment creators, developers, publishers, and enthusiasts.
Where does that align with Keeley? Is this a confrontation?
They said it aligns with their Summer of Games stuff that they've been doing since 2020, so I think it'll just be kind of
overlapping
in that sort of window, yeah.
Probably. They've done stuff like that in the past. There was an IGN Live I went to for the
That's what this one's
360
called,
launch
too.
event back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're whatever. They're fine.
And there's a
I
chance
wouldn't
that
expect
Keeley just
something too
writes it
big.
on his poster. I mean, most of the
I mean,
a lot of
yeah.
that stuff, because a lot of that stuff is like he's like it's part of the summer. What's he call his
Summer Games
Fest.
Yeah.
He's like,
'Cause
oh,
they
it's
call
part
their
of
Summer
it.
of Games.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's like all happening. Like
Sometimes
he's gonna
I
put it on
wonder
stream
how,
on there.
like,
You're
if
just
that
like,
was
oh, sure.
sanctioned, like him saying that, or if he's just like, technically, it's within the window of Summer Games Fest.
It's all mine.
Yeah,
It's all mine.
I would love. There's so many questions I want to ask Jeff Keeley, but respond to my DM, Jeff. Come on the show. But I imagine that he maybe like hits those places up, like, oh, I want to highlight you in my calendar, and they're probably like, yeah, sure, because we want more eyes in the event.
Yeah.
And then it like makes it look like he has like 82 things when he has like 2, which are big things. Like he has the biggest things, but
Yeah.
he's like, but I also have everything you have because I wrote it on my poster.
Yeah. EA flop Immortals of Avium. That feels harsh. I just copied what you wrote. EA flop Immortals
Yeah,
of
what the hell?
Avium reportedly cost
on, man.
around $125 million.
Yeah.
Former dev says that, quote, a AAA single-player shooter in today's market was a truly awful idea.
I have thoughts on this.
Yeah, and allegedly you had said, I didn't know your source on this, but you had said 85 million on production, 40 on marketing, roughly.
Yeah, which is interesting because we always talk about movies as we do.
Yeah.
And how the marketing is like equal
Equal
to
to or more than the
but
budget of the movie.
Now I feel like games are like maybe half.
I think it makes
Like
sense.
seen that
maybe.
pop up. I see a lot of pushback of people bringing up the good single player games.
Yeah,
have
that
come out, but,
quote
like-
seems a little harsh,
But so many of those single player games were sequels or established IPs. So yeah. I like this game is just okay, and it is too long. Like they were saying in the interview, they're like it was just too long. It overextended, it overreached, but it does bum me out because I like weird single player new stuff, and
Yeah.
like sometimes it just doesn't hit.
To me, I always want people to be making
Yeah.
swings.
Yeah,
like try
like-
it. Even
like Banishers.
fucking Silent Hill Ascension. I'm like, fuck yeah, try it.
Yeah. Like Banishers is like a
Yeah.
unique thing that's single player, and it's like we need more of this stuff. This stuff's awesome. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Immortals was just fine at the end of the day, which I think is kind of the killing blow, because it's like, no, the game's actually good, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, it's good enough, but it's like with so much competition,
Well,
like you brought
especially
that up,
last
there's
year,
just
yeah.
so much to play, for $60 or whatever to buy like something that's just okay.
Yeah.
Not only $60, like, but the time it takes to get through.
Immortals might be the highest budget victim of how many games there were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm for it to fail in a lot of ways, which is like
Yeah.
obviously unfortunate for like the team behind it and all
Yeah.
the resources and all that. But so many things were working against this. Like I feel like the marketing maybe didn't quite land in the right spot. The
Yeah.
name is really rough. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. It's tough because sometimes a bad name can become like memed, and it's like, oh, it's kind of
Right,
fun, and like,
right.
oh,
Yeah.
whatever, it's silly. But when you combine that, it's kind of like you gotta pick one thing.
Pick one,
They
yeah.
kind of had like they're like, okay, we look kind of generic. We're a
Yeah.
saturated market. You don't care. The name is bad. The magic doesn't like. It's like, and then also you're busy. It's like also no one likes it that much, and it's just like,
And
oh,
it's,
well, what's
a full price game or
yes,
whatever.
exactly. So it just kind of had like I think of not on the flip side, but we mentioned Immortals Phoenix Rising earlier in the
Yeah.
show, and like that's a game that I think a lot of people I haven't played it, but they talk about it as being kind of underrated. Like, oh,
Yeah.
y'all think it's just Breath of the Wild again, but it's kind of its own thing, and yeah, the name is bad, but like, and again, there's that positive glow part, and with
Yeah.
Immortals. There's kind of like, and that's why I often say like it's almost worse when your game's just fine because it's like
Yeah.
there's not even like it'd be more interesting if you're like I love it
can't
and I'm
get
like I
started
think
on
it's kind of bad and you're like no it's cool
Totally.
like you need that at least because or else it's like I guess it's okay
Yeah.
I mean I didn't
Right.
hate it
Yep.
and that's
Bossman always used to say that exact
Yeah.
same thing. He's like, I'd rather a game be a 5 than a
Then a
7 or whatever.
Yeah.
because a 5 might be someone well it depends I kind of go back and forth on that but I do think you need just some type of debate it needs to be a little bit debatable on where it
Yeah.
lands
Because Redfall was a news story for a month, whereas this just came and no one even talked about it.
It's interesting too, because like Immortals to me is a 7, but I'm not swimming.
Yeah.
I'm like
so does swimming mean you play it or that
no,
you're into
swimming
it?
in 7s to me is like I'm basking in this 7 and I love it. I'm like swimming in this pool.
Can
that
you
is-
swim in real life?
Yeah.
Are you good at it?
I'm not good at all.
Okay.
At all. Terrible
So
swimmer.
you're the 7 of swim.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay, no, I like it.
Yeah.
The lore is really cohesive. It's the
Yeah.
Helldivers.
7
too.
of swimming? That's so good.
But this was like technically it's a 7, but it's like a really kind of safe and boring 7. I don't know.
Some
It's a tough sell.
Because Forspoken, I feel like got more.
yeah.
Even though people
It had
in a way
more of an
liked
identity.
it less. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
now I don't know the numbers wise how that. Now we're getting
Yeah.
into janky math. I
Yeah.
don't know of, but yeah,
They
the
considered
conversation
it a
around
failure.
Immortals is
Interesting.
just so rough.
That's so interesting. The people that liked Forspoken like loved it,
yeah.
but like
And even the people that didn't like
Immortals
it, like,
was
people
just,
played
like,
it
whatever.
to be like, hey, like I think because
Yeah.
it was positioned as like this is a big thing, and in a way
Mm-hmm.
that made the failure worse. But this was kind of like this is a thing.
Right.
And it's like
Yeah.
like yeah.
No, it's not. Sorry.
I have it. I haven't downloaded it yet, or maybe I did download it at one point. I want to give it a go for like now hearing I think more of the development story, just like kind of see like I have this nerdy idea to play it and then like
Yeah.
put on like Patrick Klepek did that interview with like the team, and I'm like I'm gonna play that and then
Nice.
play
Play
for
it
now.
while you're playing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like kind of get like this weird like Gone
Docu-style.
Home. Yeah,
Like commentary.
that's what I want to do, but I haven't set that
rules.
up yet.
That's
I feel
a
like that'd
really
be
interesting
fun
idea.
to do.
That
So.
is the way to do it.
I don't know if y'all want to join me.
Yeah,
Add
would
me
you
on Twitter
stream
and
that,
we're like
or would
just.
it-
Oh, that'd be really cool. Maybe.
Interesting.
Like
stream.
post-mortem.
Yeah, like a
Immortals.
weird like. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know because I kind of like I remember playing Gone Home and having like the the narration on that.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
that stuff's so fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, something that you can do with the Moore's Wave.
What
if you
game
don't want
just
to
had
play it.
that? Oh, the
Last of Us had
Us,
that. Yeah, I want to go back to do that too because Last of Us is cool.
Yeah.
Xbox.
X-Blocks.
Xbox and Microsoft Flight Simulator unveiled the Dune expansion. We saw more of that. The gameplay, it's looking really good. And there's a special edition, like Xbox Caddy, I guess. It's like an Xbox stand that you can slide your Xbox into, and it
look
looks
this up.
like a ornithopter or whatever. And then it
Cool.
has a special Dune controller that floats magnetically on a stand. It has a little stand that floats above a base of
Cool.
like the surface of Arrakis.
Cool. Quick story. We
Just
have
kinda-
to. You're here, Isla. I was gonna say it for reaction shots, but like real quickly.
Patreon.com/reaction.
I saw Dune again because they re-released it in the IMAX, and 2's coming out, and it's like top 3 IMAX movies ever.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, they had a trailer for Tenet. Like, hey, Tenet's
That's coming back, right?
It's coming back. Tenet. So they played it, and then like a couple trailers went by, and then they played it again. But I was like, I thought they were gonna do something different, and I was like, this would be the sickest shit if they played it backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
If they played the trailer like first, and then later on they played it. I was like,
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I know. I was like, that is such a missed opportunity. But they just played the exact same.
You should tell that to the
twice.
projectionist. That's
Yeah,
what-
or Nolan.
Call
like,
Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, you should know.
Yeah.
That would have been
What
awesome.
if you just called Nolan up? You know,
He did recently say that you're not supposed to understand that movie, so.
that's great.
That's how I felt when it was over. I was like, I didn't get it, but it was awesome.
I think
Yeah.
Kojima should also start saying that.
Yeah.
He's like, you're
Don't
not
worry
supposed to
about
get it. I'm like, I love you. Like, you know,
You're not capable of understanding this.
like he made Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what everything else is.
It's all about
The radar
ride.
is a girl now. Don't worry about it. Lions. This one is completely not even really games, but I just put it in here because I thought Huber would like it.
Okay.
Lionsgate has teamed up with the Las Vegas tourist attraction Area 15 to create the John Wick Experience,
What?
which will open later this year. According to a press release, the John Wick Experience will span approximately 12,000 square feet in a space that blends immersive theater with highly themed cinematic environments to create an interactive journey that allows guests to live out their best life as a copycat Keanu Reeves on a high-stakes adventure.
What
Similar to an
is
escape room, but not labeled as such, guests will complete missions with characters, mythology, and iconography from the Wick universe. They might find help or hindrances along the way, as Continental staff, assassins, and crime bosses will also be nearby to offer up secrets and perhaps a few clues.
That sounds awesome. That sounds so sweet.
Just thought you would enjoy that.
Yeah, I love that. 12,000 square
12,000
feet.
square feet.
It's like a weekend.
Yeah.
You go through that. You gotta like camp out on the grounds.
Bonkers. All right. Hang on. Tell us what you love about John Wick for a second.
The kills. It's got some of the best kills you'll ever see on screen ever. And I really like the newest one.
Do you remember when I told you part 4, the beginning wasn't like I wasn't feeling it?
Yeah.
But then I felt it got better.
Dude, part 4.
I just felt like the opening act was a little, like, low key.
Yeah.
Too low key.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think like the choreography was as good in that part.
I feel that.
After that.
After that, it just gets
It was like the
there.
shooting with all those like the glass signs. I forget where it was.
Yeah.
It's been like a while where, they're fighting downstairs and like the daughter comes. And,
Yep.
saves her, and then like his friend runs off.
Hell yeah.
But after that part, oh man,
I like the
staircase.
Dude, the staircase.
All right, shut up. I got Rufus back.
Oh my god.
The best.
All right.
Donnie Yen.
He did a great job. Yeah. It's time for love and respect. Love and respect? I forgot to tell you about that.
It's so much.
No
better
one
this
else
way.
did it.
No one just left you hanging that time. Left you out to dry.
So we do the thing and then we all go love and respect, but no one else did it.
Because I was worried about Janet. I was like, does Janet know?
I was like, I forgot to tell Janet about
Yeah.
this.
Also,
You have a choice to
I
do
guess.
it.
Yeah.
Future sound.
And Damiani couldn't hear it.
Janet doesn't know.
The classic choice: do nothing and then just see what the
Nothing.
games you've
Yeah,
lost to.
Huber's timer just expired and he
Yeah.
was like,
I froze. I froze. Rewatch this. I just froze.
Where's this little friend come from?
this is, he's from McDonald's?
I thought McDonald's when I saw him.
1998 to 2000 copyright. Tiger Electronics. Manufactured for MCD Corp. Made in China. Yeah.
May I?
Rufus
Hell
had it.
yeah.
Rufus. I don't know if that's what he
great
was
boy.
actually called or if that's just what we call him.
We called.
What's it say on his hat?
Jazz Furby.
Oh, it says Furby.
Rufus?
Yeah.
He's a Furby. Yeah.
So
Oh,
awesome.
the click is how you do the little.
Yeah, his
Okay,
hat
yeah.
goes down.
Well,
We
I
could
don't
do it
wanna-
again if we
No,
fucked it
I don't
up.
want to false flag the.
Because
Yeah.
someone sent us like a bag of them.
Furbies?
Well, 'cause-
or
Of
Rufuses.
Someone
Rufuses.
sent us Rufus initially, I
Yeah.
think. Or maybe Kyle just had it.
I feel like we
But
have
someone
many
else,
more.
no,
So
someone
this
else
is what you have
sent
the
us,
office space for, to have a box of these things
yeah.
hanging around.
We have a room full of Rufuses. I don't want to shatter the
Rufus
Hollywood
room?
magic.
Oh, yeah.
We got a Rufus room. No, but someone did. A patron did send us backup Rufuses
Yeah.
and for like parts and because one of them was like getting crapped out.
How the hell has none of us been Rufus for Halloween?
That's a good question.
It's got real Dawn energy too. Like Dawn could pull that
That's
off.
a high effort costume.
Dawn could pull that off.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
do
already
it?
have the hat, so that's
You
good.
do
The
already
hat and the
have-
shades,
and the
dude.
shades?
Get you a saxophone, Dawn. It is over.
Wait a second, I'm just looking at this thing. Have I been dressing like Rufus? Why do I already own every piece of garment and accessory that Rufus has? This is-
Your skin and hair are already purple.
yeah.
Your beak
good.
is rounded. Do you play the saxophone, Don?
I do.
Okay, good.
I bet he does. That's not a bit.
He probably
I bet
does, yeah. Anyways, bit of a sad one here from
Oh.
Brandon K. Gann. Hello, everyone. Today I write with a heavy heart because a good friend of mine and fellow Easy A fan, Brian Jackson, known by his social media handle Nabushin, passed away at the beginning of this month after losing his fight with cancer. I'm still numb he's gone and don't really know how to process this loss. Big into anime, fighting games, and RPGs, shortly after we met back in 2016-2017, we connected over our mutual love for Kingdom Hearts and shared in the hype when Kingdom Hearts 3 was released. We had another mutual friend of ours made it a yearly tradition. Another mutual friend of ours made it a yearly tradition to take part in our own Fantasy Critic League when we were introduced to the site in its infancy by way of Easy Update, a tradition that lasted to his final days as he wanted to keep things going. Once, one of the last things he asked me was he wondered how Ben Moore was doing since his departure from Easy A. That's one of Brian's most defining features, thinking of others and wishing well for them regardless of his own circumstance. Since this is a love and respect submission, I guess I'll ask, what is a game or game franchise that will forever connect you with a friend or loved one where you can't help but think about them whenever said game comes up? Many thanks for reading this if you do, and a never-ending thank you for my friend Brian for being the pure personification of love and respect. Stay easy, fellow allies, and if I could be so bold as to ask for a favor, please tell a friend how much they mean to you, because you never know what will be the last thing you ever say to them.
No doubt.
Have
Love
a
and
great
respect.
day. Yeah. So, do you have a game or franchise
many.
that is forever linked with someone?
So many. I mean, Final Fantasy with Damiani and Brad. Frickin' StarCraft with my friend Ryan is like maybe number one, because when I was in college, StarCraft 2 had come out, and that was the way we stayed in touch. Like, I played so much StarCraft 2 in college. It was like unhealthy amounts.
Yeah.
But it was really funny because I had like 2,000 something games played, and like 10 of those games were 1v1, and like all the other ones were like 2-on-2, 3-on-3. So I just like played with my buddies, but mostly my friend Ryan. And Fortnite, of course, with Grumbomb. It's legendary. Grumbomb. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always think of my dad when I'm playing Myst, because I played it with him first.
No doubt.
I have a bunch of other ones, like Silent Hill 2. I think of my friend Evan, because he would come over and watch me play Silent Hill as kids, that kind of stuff. Do you have any?
Yeah, me and my brother would game all the time, like growing up. So I feel like kind of all of those games in a way are like, linked to that time. We were, well, by we, I mean I was heavy into these games and he obliged. Mario Party 4 on the GameCube.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest console of all time. Madden, I think it was 03 or 04. I really have not played any Madden since then, but my brother was in. That was like our cultural exchange, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I will make you play Mario Party 4 and Super Smash Bros. Melee until the end of this fixation.
Yeah.
And you will make me play Madden. And eventually I got like good enough to like,
Fair
now we can have a
trade.
fun.
Yeah.
And he liked those games, but he's like, you were like way too, like every day. Can you imagine playing Mario Party 4 every day?
Yes. Yes.
He
yes.
likes Mario Party free.
Yes.
Okay.
Super
Yeah.
Oh, dude, let's play Mario Party sometime.
I'm down.
'Cause also-
Let's go.
Also,
Oh, man.
honestly, 4 still hits. There was, and
He's
it,
a psycho when it comes
it's funny
to
too
Mario
because
Party.
looking back on it, my brother jokes like with Smash Melee. He's like, I guess you were ahead of the game. You knew how special it was. It
Yeah.
still is a big deal game.
Heck
Yeah.
But I also want to shout out Resident Evil 7 with my friend Jess
Nice.
because we did that. We Redboxed it. Back when Redbox still
Fun.
was
Yeah.
having
Redbox.
games. I used to live across the street from a 24-hour Walgreens, so we got it from the Redbox Walgreens or whatever, the Redbox at Walgreens. We played it in like one sitting.
Nice.
I think we did do it in one night and we went to sleep and then it was just done, or we woke up and finished it. I can't remember. But yeah, we did that, pass the controller back and forth, and that's
Which
one of
game was
my
this?
7.
Oh,
Seven.
okay.
And that's one of my favorite ways to play a game, like just a single player game, but you split the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just think it's so fun. It's so cozy. Like,
So
if you haven't
cozy.
done it, like give it a try
It's so
because,
fun.
and then you each only have to play half the game. You only have to be
Yeah.
half
Yeah.
the gamer, which sounds about right. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. Also, that's a scary game, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do all this.
Right.
It was my first Resident Evil. She was well versed in the franchise, so she's like, trust me, just take this thing, you just twist it. It casts a shadow. I'm like, how do you know that? She's like, you just know.
Just know.
Yeah.
And now
Feel
that
it in
I
my
have played,
bones.
now that I have played way more of the games as they've come out, it's like getting that knowledge too, and kind of like reappreciating, like, oh, I see.
You're right. That puzzle's
Now
like,
I see what you see.
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
kind of
really
just
fun.
intrinsically feel what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I forgot my friend Brandon and I put TVs next to each other and played all of Final Fantasy X and X-2 in a row
That's
for like a week
true.
and a half. Capri Suns everywhere on the floor.
Have you played the Mario Party All Stars?
Yeah, a little bit.
The new one. It's pretty good.
So good.
Damiani, you got one?
Yeah, another Resident Evil 1, but Resident Evil 6. My friend Matt Simmons, we had it in advance, Resident Evil 6, and I wanted to play through it with someone else. So we played through the entirety of it.
Damn, I didn't
co-op.
know you yet,
And
dude. That's crazy.
I know, dude.
That's
but like,
crazy.
that game was so bad, but playing it with him, like, because we were just like pointing out the absurdity of all of it. And the best part was because it was back then, like the advanced copies were like on dev units,
Right.
So like we had the 360 dev kits, so we got a bunch of codes were actually like on a disc, not like digital codes. You got like a physical disc. So we got a bunch of those, and I brought mine home, and we were playing it. And because the point is, because it was an advanced copy, so one of the stages didn't load right. It was all like no text. It was like just no textures on anyone. Everyone just looked like silver, like reflective silver surfaces everywhere.
Whoa.
And we were just like, It was like, I don't know. We just remember how goofy it looked, and we're like, this actually makes it better.
Dude, there's
This
a
is
clean room in
improved.
Resident Evil 6 that actually has that effect, but your character model still looks normal. So
Yeah, but no, it was the whole
Probably that
stage
effect,
turned
like,
to it. It was like,
broken.
yeah.
yeah, it
Lost
like broke,
containment.
and we were just like, oh man, what is wrong with this game? It like was just like the cherry on top of already like bad game.
Yeah.
I love
Oh my
that.
I was
God, this is
interning
so
at G4
bad.
at that time, Damiani, and the idea of a bad Resident Evil game, like, I mean, other than like a main one, other than like Survivor, like wasn't even a possibility in my mind because I'd been playing since 1 and they had all been good.
Yeah.
I'd never not liked one. And I remember sitting at G4, I was like doing like tape stuff, and the reviews came out and GameSpot gave it like a 6. And I remember just being like shocked. I was like, wait,
Your world fell apart.
I was like, wait,
Crumbled
what?
down.
I was like looking at other reviews and they were like all bad. I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. Like,
I remember I played
Yeah.
Revelations 2 with Omar, my old roommate, and I loved it. And then like you and whoever you played it with, like the shared experience of like the
Yep,
person who
Brad
had the
and I.
main
Yep,
the main
I had
player
the
was
main.
like, this game rules, and then the
Yep,
other was
yep.
like, try playing as the other player.
Yep.
You're just sitting there largely.
you're like pointing out
Yeah.
people. I was like,
Yeah. Sorry, Damiani, what were you gonna say?
No, because I was kind of with you, Huber, because him and I played through RE5 when we got it in as well. Because I didn't review that one, but like I was doing all like the capture, so I was also playing a lot of it at home. And we played through it like co-op, and it was like, dude, this is so good. I remember playing it through with Simmons, and then like having like Max come over and like, Max, you got to play with us. It was like so fun.
Hell yeah.
And then like we're like, dude, 6 is gonna be sick,
Yep.
man. And it was like
Avengers Assemble, let's go.
Don, do you have one?
I have a lot of fun memories. I mean, yeah, tons of games tied to tons of different friends.
Yeah.
But in particular, one that popped into my mind is my good long lost buddy Jesse. He used to play Dreamcast. He got Dreamcast day one. And so I just have like pretty much every Dreamcast memory of mine, like Tokyo Extreme Racer, Ready to Rumble, Soul Calibur 2,
Dude,
of course.
ready to rumble.
Just tons of good memories. We were together like every day during the Dreamcast lifespan, which was short. And I've told the story before of like one day during the latter days, the dying days of the Dreamcast, I went over to his house and he just said, Don, come here. And he took me around the side of his apartment, his house, and took me to the trash. And he opened up the lid and he had like his leather Dreamcast case with like all his games in his system and everything that he decided to just throw away. Over time, you know, the Dreamcast is beloved now, but people don't know. At the time when it failed, it was heartbreaking for a lot of people, especially people like Jesse who had invested in the previous few Sega systems and just felt burned. And
It was sad.
God.
Dreamcast
Did you
was
take
like
it?
a bright star. I didn't because I didn't want to take it because I thought he would feel bad. Like me just, you know, I just let it, like it disappear. It was
Wow.
a very powerful moment for him. So
Having to import Shenmue 2 on Dreamcast because it didn't come out in Dreamcast in America because the Dreamcast was friggin' dead was like
yeah, Huber, I remember.
bittersweet.
I remember reading about that in magazines and being so psyched. And then I never even played the game till years and years later. I never even tried it because of that. But I remember at the time being so psyched for Shenmue. That was one of the late stage games that was just canceled, or for North America at least.
the second one. Yeah.
Next up from Onyx the Great. You had one, right? You just had one already?
Yeah.
Okay. From
Mario
Onyx the
Party.
Great. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mario time.
Onyx the Great. I'm actually going to do this out of order how you wrote it because I think it'll flow maybe. Related fact to what we're going to talk about.
Great.
Apparently, there's something called the American Lean, which is a
this the
thing that
guns
people.
by the pool?
Yeah.
I was thinking
This is
that
a thing that people in other countries pick up on when Americans are visiting. Apparently, Americans are known for leaning on things when they stand still. This is a habit that the CIA even trains Americans to unlearn when training to be a spy.
What?
Don't worry, we can
hell?
still stand on our own 2 feet. And that's related to their question. A quick question. What is your idle animation?
Oh, cute.
What pose or gesture do you gravitate toward after standing or sitting idly for a couple of minutes? I'm willing to bet that
Slouching.
nowadays most people will immediately look down at their phone like the modern day zombies we are, all while leaning on one leg or something close by in a slouching posture.
Yeah, I'm a sloucher.
So what's your idle animation?
Just like
Yeah.
I'm trying to
This is
think.
not like a good slouch.
Yeah, and just slouch
I
hard.
have to like stand to do it. I feel like I just kind of go like, or no, I do this. Yeah,
Crossed arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
arms crossed, and I lean on my
That's good.
one leg.
That's a great idle animation.
Yeah.
Definitely if I'm. I guess it depends on the context, right? If I'm alone. I guess is it an idle animation if you're actively doing it? Not really, because I'm like when I'm on TikTok, like that's active time. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm in it.
You're
so-
working,
Not
yeah.
fully
Yeah.
idle.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure my boyfriend could answer this better than I can because I'm like, you see me from above, right?
Yeah,
Like, what do I look like? The slouch is a good one. I think cracking my back would maybe be my idle animation because I feel like I do that periodically.
Yeah.
So that might be it, just twisting. And I can do it like in a chair or I'll do it like standing. So we'll
I
go
can
with
totally see it in like video game form, just like
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I have a nose twitch, so I do that too.
that. Yeah.
Damiani, Don, you got one? Not really.
I need other people to answer. I don't really consciously think about it.
Yeah,
But I
Damiani's
do
never
lean.
idle.
I definitely do like. I do like to like lean or sit down. Like,
I
I don't
lean
like
on
to
stuff
stand up
all
for
the
too
time.
long.
Yeah, leaning's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love a good lean.
So they don't lean in other countries?
Other countries, y'all gotta try this leaning thing.
Yeah, check it out.
Hear us out. Lean on a wall. Try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You don't have to hold your own weight. Don, you got one?
No.
You don't have to have one. That's fine. We're already at 2.5 hours. Harrison Holt McHale. Hey, allies. One of the biggest surprises I have experienced recently was my rediscovered love for old school RuneScape. Somehow, it's still the
Wow.
game I loved in 2007, but the Jagex team, or Jagex, has continued to improve it since old school's revival, meaning there's always new content and seasonal events to be looking forward to. Another aspect that roped me back in was the YouTube community surrounding the game. One of the most prolific people to do challenge runs is a content creator called Settled. In his latest series, Nightmare Mode, he has modded his client so that if he takes a single piece of damage, he will be locked out of that character and have to start entirely over with a new character.
Holy
and this is RuneScape.
cow.
That's a long ask. My
Wow.
question to the panel is, if you had to start trying to no-hit a full playthrough of a game tomorrow, what would it be, and how long do you think it would take you to get a successful attempt? Are there any other challenge runs you could think of? What would be the most fun to attempt? Love,
So
respect, Harrison.
kind of a boring answer for me. I don't like playing that way personally because it makes the game like work kind of. It's like more mechanical and just like, I can't immerse myself and like get into it.
Yeah.
I did try recently, actually, like a year or so ago, Resident Evil 2, the original, because it's my favorite game ever made.
Yeah.
And I'm like really good at it. I tried speedrunning because people were
Right.
like, dude, like we would watch you speedrun. Like you should try speedrunning. Try no hit run. And like, it's really hard. Like I've beaten that game,
Yeah.
no exaggeration, like 100 times. I beat it all the time, day and night. I just beat that game over and over. And it's like, no, it's speedrun. That is such a skill.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Personally, I just don't like doing that. I like watching people do it.
Okay.
But
But if a pool gun was to your head, what would you
Yeah.
pick?
I mean, I guess it would be Resident Evil, but then
Okay.
I'm worried I would like
You'd ruin your
I
favorite
would
game.
ruin
yeah.
Resident Evil a
Ruin
little
it.
bit. So, I mean, Last of Us, I guess the like
That seems
permadeath
like a fun,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of do that.
But even then,
realistic and, yeah.
like by the third wipe in Last of Us, I was like, dude, this is too much, and it's like kind
Yeah.
of ruining the
Yeah.
impact and like the love of the game. It's becoming like work and stressful and.
I mean, I always see people do like Bloodborne or whatever with stuff like this, and like I respect it so much. And like back in the day when I was playing Bloodborne all the time, I could beat it in an hour or whatever, because I just had done it so many times. But I was
follow the
certainly
quick
still
path.
taking damage, So it's
Yeah.
like it. At a certain point, you have to just learn it like a speed run, where you have to just
Yeah.
learn exactly where to be and stuff. So I like.
It's a hell of a skill.
I'm more tempted to think about things like Portal or Talos Principle, where it's like it wouldn't be a no hit run, but it would be like a speed run, I guess. But like, can I do this from memory, like, and not spend more than 10 minutes on any puzzle, or more than 3 minutes on any puzzle, or something like that? Like that maybe would be a fun challenge. But yeah, I don't think I could start anything tomorrow and do well at this.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, the no hit would not. What's the? How long would? Well, they didn't say I had to do it. It's not like do it or your
You
family
don't have to
dies.
succeed
So-
it. Yeah, you start trying tomorrow, so you could start trying to learn it tomorrow. I
Sure,
guess.
I would do Jack and Daxter because that's my favorite game.
Nice.
And it's probably not like that hard to get hit, but how long would it take me? a lifetime, I'd never succeed because I choke under pressure.
Sure.
Same.
And like
Same.
I can execute, but I can't execute at the scale. Maybe if again you kind of bring in the speed run, like the
Yeah.
scale
Yeah.
of it though. Like I'll get in my own. Like I know, and I can feel it happening
Yeah.
when it happens. Like I'll even I stream
You
a lot,
know it's
so
coming.
I'm like nope. I'm like it's getting to me. The pressure's getting.
Yeah.
And I see people clutch, and sometimes I've clutched things, but usually I clutch things kind of like barely or by accident.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll see someone clutch something, and I'll be like, I would have fucked that up. I saw where I would have died, and I would have it would have been over. But like other people can do, I just can't. I just can't do it.
And, like I'm sure you have the.
That's why I play Mario Party.
like we all.
it's nice time
because it's random. Yeah.
It's like hey, it's all just cake and salads, like whatever.
Mario Party is a cutthroat nightmare.
Very cutthroat.
Very serious around here.
Yeah, but it's not real. That's what I always remind myself. I'm like,
Oh,
you
it's
know what?
real.
real to me.
It's real. It's
Yeah.
real.
I'm like, you know what? Whenever I'm worried in a game, I'm like, this isn't real. Let's just try. They're like, no, don't do it. I'm like, well, who cares? It's not real. Like,
Well,
just,
you never know if you're gonna get into that like flow state and like everything will just go or you'll
Yeah.
choke like.
Yeah.
Because it feels kind of like the same thing either way, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my hands are just not working, or it's like my hands just did that without my trying, you know?
yeah, the palm sweaty, mom spaghetti
Exactly.
thing hangs heavily on me. So
Damiani, what would you start trying to no-hit
If
run
it's
on?
like anything allowed,
Anything's
I mean,
allowed.
OG RE4, but like with everything unlocked.
Sure.
Is that too easy?
Oh, sure.
No.
why
For
not?
like
it's
the
not hard.
PRL 412 and the Chicago typewriter available.
Ashley armor.
I mean, Ashley
Chicago
Armor, so she
typewriter,
can't get hit during that
Yeah.
segment. Yeah.
GG.
I mean, the PRL 412 will just like make everything a joke,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, throw an infinite rocket launcher, so
Yeah.
every boss gets one shot. So it's like, it's just if you miss aim, like if you miss
Yeah.
aim or miss time something, you could get hit by like a stray like axe being thrown at you from a Ganado or something, or maybe I could see like it seems super straightforward and easy, but I could like see quickly, oh, this thing right here is a little problematic. You know, you can't like. You still have to like kind of aim, like maybe like the gondola section.
Yeah.
Maybe something can still
axe
get
would hit
through.
you or
I
something,
mean,
yeah.
I don't think it would, but yeah.
I was gonna say Silent Hill 2,
yeah.
but like the controls are a little janks.
Yeah.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I could do a no-hit run of that probably if I remember the routes.
I would actually do the Arkham Knight Iceberg Lounge challenge specifically because it's never ending.
Oh.
And people just go and go and go, and it's so hard, and it's the sickest shit ever. If you get it, and I've never even come close, and I'm like pretty good at that game. If you get 1,000,000 points, Killer Croc comes out and like starts battling you, and it's like I always wanted to get to 1,000,000, and I would get to like hundreds of thousands at most, not even. It's like, dude,
rough.
the easiest one to do, I already for would be like a little more challenging. The easiest one, I guarantee I can do it. The original Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Get
hell
Fire
yeah.
Mario
Oh.
and just don't use the warps and like play
Star
slow.
Rep,
I was thinking that too,
Yeah,
but I
you could.
don't think I'd be
That's
able to do it.
doable.
I don't. Are there
I'm
original?
pretty sure I've done it.
Are there
That's
Hammer Bros
skill.
in that?
yeah.
That's
Dude,
nope,
Yeah, but
it's
if
over.
you
Hammer
use
Bros
the
is
It's over
Fire
for me.
Mario's, keep your distance and take
Burn
them
your
out.
head.
Yeah.
If you have fire, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
hardest
true.
part would be the water part leading up to the final part of Bowser. There's the water part with the not the cheeps, whatever they're called, the
Cheep Cheeps?
squid things. What am
Oh, I think I see them in my
squid
mind.
things. Why am I forgetting their names now? But
blooper sound right.
yeah, blooper. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like I'm zoning out now. Wow. And the little spinning fire things underwater.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very easy to like misjudge, like because the swimming's like you float up and down. It's not like it's a little. I mean, it's a little floaty naturally. So it's easy to like hit something by accident there. So I could see it, but to retry it'd be really quick. I feel like so. I mean, that's something I think is doable for a lot of us.
Totally. Don, you got one?
Sick.
Or no?
The only no-hit kind of thing I ever used to be decent at was the original Metal Slug, which I would pick up again. I get through
Hell
like
yeah.
That's
I get like the
hardcore.
first. I get to like the 4th level boss back in the day on 1 quarter, which I was super proud of. It was in the lobby of the movie theater, so I used to play it on every single one of my breaks in my first job.
That is
Hell
such
yeah.
a vibe, dude.
Yeah, it
Holy
was-
shit.
it was a
It's like
good
me with
vibe.
Time Crisis 2, Don. I could beat that shit with not getting hit once.
Yeah, just total memorization. So
Yep.
I'd be willing to take that one up again at some point if I had the time, if I had the cabinet and the time.
Hell yeah. Let's play a game. This one's from Ian Alexander. The game is Lost in Translation number 6. Try to guess the correct titles of these games translated from Chinese to English with the infamously inaccurate Google Translate.
Great.
The first to say the full English title gets a point. They are all games that have recently been discussed on Taiwan's top gaming news site, Bahamut. Happy Year of the Dragon, Ian, a.k.a. Alexander Arts.
Sweet.
All right.
What up, Alexander?
Starting off with an easy one. Dragon Doctrine 2.
Dragon's Dogma 2?
Correct.
Oh.
I'm not going to keep score.
Blood never does.
Tied up at fun to fun.
Eternal Calamity.
Tears of the Kingdom. Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
You'll never get this.
Eternal
In fact, if you remember the
Calamity?
name of this video game, I will be shocked.
Stellar Blade.
It had that's along the right lines. This one had a lot of marketing, and it's sort of like that kind of a vibe.
Oh, that one anime one where there's monsters. That's all of the games that
the
exist.
anime one with monsters,
Yeah.
of course.
It's Naraka Blade
No,
Point.
no, I have
Naraka
that.
Blade.
Oh.
Okay. This one's funny. King of Holy Beasts. This game is not yet out. I don't think.
King of Holy Beasts. I'd watch that movie.
You like this developer. I find the character designs a bit grotesque for my taste, but you love it.
Start naming gross things that you like.
I mean,
Not gross.
Not Darkest Dungeon 2.
Not gross, but it's that kind of perspective. This one's like kind of a direct translation sort of a thing.
I don't know.
Unicorn Overlord.
Unicorn Overlord.
King of Holy Beasts.
Unicorns are real.
Yeah, probably. Santa Advance Dangerous Spin.
What?
Santa Advanced Dangerous Spin?
Santa Advance.
I want this game.
colon,
I want
Dangerous
this to be-
Spin.
Call it this.
That is
please.
perfect. That is a name that sells. People are
is-
buying that game.
This is a-
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
That is a great guess. Not correct. I will say that Advance is in both the actual title and the fake title, and this is a long-running series.
Advance Wars?
That's what I was thinking. But
Ready for it?
Yeah.
Shantae Advance Risky Revolution.
Gotcha.
Santa Advance Dangerous Spin.
My God. We need that game.
All right, you'll get this one. Peas Lie.
Lies of P.
Yep. Laws
God,
of
where-
Talos 2.
Talos Principles too.
That's good.
The
Lies
first
of P.
the first successor,
First Soldier?
the first descendant.
Damn it.
Metaphorical Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Grand Blue Fantasy.
This one's more of a direct translation, sort of. And one of the words is not real in the real name.
Stellar Blade. It's got to
Those
be
are
in the
both
title.
real words.
Fantasy?
Metaphorical fantasy. Metaphor.
It's metaphor.
Rickle fantasy.
something.
What's that game called? What's the F word? The
Power
the
World.
Atlas game.
Yeah.
No, the
Refantasio or whatever.
Yep.
the game.
Yep.
Fantasio.
What's the first word?
Fantasia, not Fantasia. That's the other
Metaphor
I don't know the name.
refantasio.
Fantasia.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know it.
All right.
That was
Dude, this is the year of the RPG. That's insane.
yeah.
What's this one? Starblade.
Stellar Blade. There it is. We knew it'd be
There you
We knew it'd be
go.
there.
Damn, I thought
This-
Starfield.
Oh, that would have been a good one too. This one's weird. The Strange Caller.
Silent Hill, the one you played.
That's a good call. That's not right, but that would have
The
made
Strange
sense. That would have
Caller.
made any amount of sense. This one's the Thaumaturge.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Thaumaturge.
This one is The Return of the Spell, the Dance of Two Flowers.
Banishers?
Jujutsu Kaiden Cursed Clash. Not sure how we got... I don't know what Jujutsu Kaiden means, I guess, but... and then this is the last one, Bubble Star.
Foam
Foam
Stars.
Stars.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
That's a good one.
We'll have other love and respect questions in our Patreon exclusive section. Maybe another game. Who knows? Check it out if you are a patron. And now it is time for bets. Right before this podcast, I checked how many viewers Skull and Bones had on Twitch.
SMB. Don's not streaming, so the numbers are down.
I also realized I didn't check the result for the last week's. Okay. Right before this podcast, I checked how many viewers Skull and Bones had on Twitch. The game officially releases tomorrow, and right now it has 14,400 viewers before we started filming. How many will it have right before we shoot on February 22nd? Janet is a guest. You will pick someone to bestow your point upon if you win. You can do that at the end if you want. I'll let you hear everyone's bets first.
What's the current standing of this competition?
Well, you'll find out after I didn't check the thing. So
I'm inclined to give it to whoever's currently.
hang on,
lowest
maybe I can look it up.
and just let math decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can always just do off.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know. Yeah, I'll be like a support character kind of moment.
Heck yeah,
It's like,
support class.
Yeah,
What are
you know.
What are you looking up?
There's a
Isla?
couple
I'm
people
trying to look
with
up,
no points yet because we just started the
Who
season.
doesn't have points?
No, I'm trying to look up what the most expensive thing in Skull and Bones is, because that was the question for this week.
yeah.
But
We gotta lock these bets in first, right?
yes, we do. So Huber,
Yo.
Stealthy Centipede. What did you say?
I said 12.2 thousand.
Beautiful.
Wow.
12.2. I think that the Friday time, Thursday time, Friday time.
Friday.
It'll be Thursday.
Yeah, the game will have been
at,
out for
like
a bit,
5 p.m. Yeah.
so it's gonna, I think right when it comes out, it'll be up to like 35,
Yeah.
40.
So you
but
think it'll peak and then it'll
Yeah.
have cooled off by then? I
Yeah.
think that's solid.
Yeah.
Damiani Pappas Cocker Spaniel.
I went with 2,000.
Oh my God.
Wow.
dire
Way down.
Suicide Squad vibes.
Don Fashionable Manatee.
I went with 9.2 thousand.
9.2K.
Everyone's dipping.
Gabby, Optimistic Rat, what did you say? Can't read that. What did she say, Don?
3.021.
Just turn around. Just turn.
3,001.
Okay. Not 30,001. Myself, Wet Hummingbird said 19K.
Went up.
I think it'll go up, but only just. Janet,
I feel like I went way too high. I went 27,650.
love that.
The high. You got the high.
You got the high. You
You
edged
know
me
what?
out.
We'll see some more sponsored streams. I don't know how much
Yeah.
money they have to crank this thing out, but
Yeah.
and I think they spent a lot of it already based on what I've seen on Twitch. But
All right.
maybe there's more.
Don, can you look this up or chat or somebody? Because I forgot to check this. Skull and Bones is out. This was last week's bet. Skull and Bones is out, and last week Bloodworth asked how much the most expensive item in the game's shop would be. It could be a cosmetic or a season pass or currency of some kind or a bundle. It just has to be a single line item that you can spend real money on in the shop.
$59.99.
All right, so Huber had said $99.99. Damiani said $25. I said $149.95. Don said $125. Gabby said $99.99, and Blood said $79.99, which I guess makes Blood the closest, because that's closer than 25, right? Yeah.
Blood's my anime
I'm
rival.
35 off.
Yeah. So if that is the
Blood's
correct
fine.
answer,
I don't care who wins. I just don't want Blood to win.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I didn't
Give
see.
my points to blood. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Just stir the pot.
Wait, can you make a note of how many coins $60
It
gets
is
you?
7,800 gold for $59.99.
7,800 gold.
7,800 gold.
Okay. Stealthy Centipede 3.
It's really stealthy.
It's very stealthy. Pompous Cocker Spaniel 2. Wet Hummingbird 1. Yay! That's me. And Effervescent Hippopotamus, which is Bloodworth, to 1. We will have to await what his sound will be. Also, I'm learning now that only the current winner and top 2 scores will get to make their sounds. But I made everybody make a sound.
Sweet.
Janet, who would you like your point to go to if you win?
Do you know what the overall
No.
standings are? Okay.
Well, Huber's got 3. Damiani has 2. I have 1. Don
Blood
has
has 1.
0. Gabby has 0. And Blood has 1, theoretically.
So Don and Gabby have 0.
let's go with Gabby.
Boom.
Cool.
You're welcome.
Gabby says thank you from the other room. All right, let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. At $5, you get this podcast 2 days early, ad-free, with 2. This time I think maybe more. I don't remember. Bonus Love and Respect questions, and you can submit to Love and Respect. You can include suggestions for the wrong question. Get in there. We need those, because Blood got rid of corrections, and I miss them, but I like the wrong question too. It's fun. You can be in our Discord, which does a monthly top 10, which I really love, which we read out on this podcast and then berate our beautiful, lovely patrons because we think they're crazy. You can get in on that for $5. At $10, you can join our contributor tier and submit to our community showcase and stream team. Community showcase will still be once a month, but it will be about an hour after each group stream, but you get everybody. So, you know. And stream team, you'll vote on one of our group streams each month, and then we will choose from the top 3. $25 and up are our producer tiers. $50 a month, you get fan mail from each of us, everybody. You get one from everybody. $100 is the Golden Voice tier, where Brandon Jones will read just about anything you tell him to, within reason, of course. And then our platinum producers get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. Those shout outs go to Jabawabs, Elfanis. Hang on, wait. So I'm gonna go shout out, and then you go shout out, and then he'll go shout out. You know, it's like a cascade.
Sure.
I warned you about it this time.
Am I?
You're second.
Yes. Am I? Once you're done saying shout out, or do I jump on the
overlap
the out?
like on the out?
Okay.
Ow.
Gotcha.
Okay, this week's the shout outs go to Jabawabs, Elfanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out!
Shout out.
Shout out.
He's got delay.
That's fine.
You did great, Tony.
I delayed.
All right. Before we get to our winner, who's not here, so we'll just split it up. I'm gonna promote a video. We had the honor of being sponsored by Square Enix to do Square Enix. I always forget. Squeenix, to do a beautiful, wonderful video about Final Fantasy VII. We talked about the road to rebirth. I really loved it. It was a really fun conversation. We were just talking about our hype and our love for 7 and how, it hit us like right at the right time in our lives, and we played it right when it came out, more or less. Or actually, I played it right when it came out.
Yeah.
And our reaction to the remake and how that kind of led into what we're doing now. And yeah, it's just a really, really fun video. And if you haven't had a chance yet to check it out, please do so. And also, the more views that gets, the more cool sponsorship stuff we get to do in the future, probably. Janet, where can people find you?
You can find me across the internet under the handle GameOnysus. That's Game ONYSUS. That's all socials, Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, the whole gambit.
Love that. And say the names of the things you appear on again for people who want to find you that way too.
Yeah, I am on the Min-Max Show. I am on the Indie Council. And I've done a couple guest spots on Remap Radio. And then for my website, it's pen2pixels.com, a name that is generally a good idea, but very hard to say if you do not enunciate it. Pen2pixels.
And that's T-O, the word.
Yeah, T-O.
Not the number 2.
That's, yet another hurdle presents itself.
Although you should get that and make like a back or step it up 2.
I've thought about doing the lore of the misname. There's like people that hear it as like Panda Pixels or Pentiment. You'll find it. Go to the socials, you'll find it. It's there. It all links back.
All right. Blood would get the shout out, but he ain't here. So we're going to give everyone else chances to do the things. So one person gets to shout out anything that's on your mind this week. One person gets the final word, and one person gets to sign off with their trademark sign-off. Janet, Huber, and Damiani, do you want to split those up?
Sure.
What do you want?
I don't know.
I don't know either. This
You
is
can
the
have-
choices thing again.
I know.
You're not really
could
their
have
choice
the-
game.
know.
Stop being the choice game.
freezing.
I'll do
A shout out.
shout out.
Okay, so then
Yeah,
final
and I'll go
word
now.
and trademark sign off.
I'll do the trademark sign off. We'll give
Okay.
we'll give
Okay, I'll do
Janet
the
the
final
final
All
word.
right, cool.
Yeah.
So Damiani, go ahead, shout something out.
All right, because I was reminded of it, and I actually switched up my tickets for it to get a better theater next week. Advent Children's back in theaters for the first time ever in North America.
Hell yeah.
I looked at the theater I was seeing it at originally, and I was like, no, too tiny. Looked like scrambled. There's still plenty of tickets, so like thank goodness, because there's only one showing per day for 2 days,
Whoa.
and one's subbed and one's dubbed. Anyway, upgraded to a much better theater, and I'm like, let's go. And they announced there might be something special about Rebirth at it.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, spoilers.
Ooh. And the Square Enix tweeted about it today, saying like, you should go see it. I was like, okay, Rebirth stuff, let's go.
Crazy. Janet, final word about anything that you thought of during the episode or disagreed with or just wanted to reiterate your opinion on.
Oh, that's what. Why did I think it was a literal word? Like a literal.
It could be.
Let's see. Final word.
You can say whatever you want and no one can interrupt you.
Yeah, or it just popped into your head right now.
Yeah, or just
Anything
something
you
that
want.
popped into your head. Whatever you want.
The initial final word I had was a, but then now this is such a better opportunity. I feel like. Shout out to UMDs. What a fun way to consume media. Other one I had that I talk about constantly, I had those like 4 or 5 episodes of Family Guy on there that we all watched 82 times. What an era.
Indeed. All right, Hubert, trademark sign off us.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy the year of the RPG. Rub their noses together, you know?